Charlotte is at Orlando. The Suns host the Warriors. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
Exactly what we gotta do. All right, that's all the good boys out there. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right,
1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside, wide left, fake 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Welcome into the Huddle. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid back in the big room.
Ooh, feels good.
He's not behind the board. David Gasper sliding into the producer's chair this morning. We are ready to bring it to you. And we begin the show with the declaration that I am not, nor have I ever been, pregnant, but I have this weird, suspicious craving for pea soup this morning.
Oh, okay.
That's what I just drove through to get to the Megaplex.
Somebody run to the grocery store and get this man some pea soup before that craving either goes away or becomes very, very ornery.
Nobody at the grocery store has the pea soup to my standards because Grandma used to make this unbelievable with the leftover ham from like the Easter ham or something. You'd go to Grandma's and you get the pea soup afterwards. It was incredible. Maybe a little extra bacon from breakfast thrown into.
The 2 or 3 day Wednesday after a holiday of just wait. Grandma's been cooking it up.
Yep.
That's always one of the best days to return.
Grandma was cooking it up every day.
Every day.
Show up for her house at lunch, and it was always soup from last night's leftovers, and it was amazing.
9 or 10 in the morning, getting ready for dinner that night. Oh, man, what a life.
Incredible. But, yeah, it's very foggy out there, and then it's going to burn away this morning, and then we're going to have a really nice sunny day, and at 4 o'clock here in our parts and earlier in Madison, we're going to get the fourth circle of hell of flooding, rain, tornadoes, your weather people going 24/7, and then finally we're going to get some relief, and I guess next week's going to be dry. But man, batten down the hatches, folks, like you guys that are digging out
one more day.
How much carpeting have you seen by the side of the road in the subdivisions and stuff? It's incredible.
Yeah, I've seen a decent amount, and the tough thing is it's the folks that were ahead of the curve, right? Looking at this a little bit forward thinking, and then us that get stuck in the mud and get into the back are the ones that are waiting for it. Man, my neighbor for the last month, these two young people have been out just grinding away in this yard. I mean, going absolutely ham, laying stone, a lot of mulch, digging this part out. They just bought the house last year, right? So they're putting their touches on it. And Drew, the one thing that I didn't realize, I'm like, what are they doing in front? Because obviously I'm a little nosy.
Yeah.
I'm old now.
You're officially old.
I'm officially old. I sit in my house and I look at what other people are doing and judge it.
You sit in the garage during storms. You watch World War II documentaries. You're old.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find an outdoor rocker. If anybody has one, let me know. Facebook Marketplace is a scary place. And I'm looking there and out by the street, what are you doing? Well, they redug their little tunnel and funnel for the water to run away from their house and run away from the yard. Well, they're the only ones that the water is not standing across the street. So it seems like if you are the early bird, you can get the worm. And they dug a whole lot of worms out, but right now the worms aren't flying through their driveway because they're getting pushed up past the grass.
My goodness. You can reach out to us on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794 197.3. Yeah, the weather has been the big topic. How about the Brewers winning a series against defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays yesterday? Death by paper cut. They bunted their way to victory. Who'd have thunk that?
And what's better than kicking the crap out of someone 2-1, doing it twice?
Yeah.
Back-to-back days against the reigning defending AL Central or AL champs. And to be able to do it, Drew, you mentioned it in Brewer fashion, but also still not necessarily get the big knock, would leave the optimistic fans to say they're still around the corner, but also you're going to have to be able to scrap away wins however you dang well can with the lineup looking the way it is.
Yeah, you lose a game when you score 7, you win a couple when you score 2. That's a pitching game. That's a bullpen game. That's you had some heroics. Sproat was good. Chad Patrick was good the day before. And you got to just, win the way you can. Win tonight is Murph's mantra, and it's pretty apropos. And maybe they have to focus on bunting guys around because they don't have Vaughn, Churio, and now Yelich. So
you could argue in their lineup yesterday, they had 5 or 6 of their best offensive players not in the lineup. And you could make an argument of it, and then to still be able to prevail is a big thing. I also love the fact that we were sitting around. We asked Hunter yesterday. We asked folks at 877-794-1973 on the talking text line. When's the next place that you see Trevor McGill? How is he deployed the next time out? Well, it's in a eighth inning, high leverage, and you get to see him screaming obscenities at the visiting dugout. Maybe not the 8th inning in a leverage spot, but barking at the opponent. Exactly, I think, what Trevor McGill needed to hopefully be able to get himself back on track.
Yeah, that was something else.
Get a little dust up in there, a little heat.
Yeah, a little juice. And, he got the warm embrace of Brewers fans.
Mm-hmm.
People want him to do well. Welcome back. He got a little ovation. That's, was noticed. And when you look at this, it was too early to write the guy off.
100%.
That was a hell of a bounce back after a couple of stinker outings. And we were wondering, we start him as an opener. We were like, we still don't know who tonight's starter is. David Gasper's here. Have they declared a starter for tonight?
They have not declared officially, but yesterday's AAA starter, Coleman Crow, was mysteriously scratched before the game. So that is what we are
anticipating. It's a short flight to Miami.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable name.
Coleman Crow? Oh, yeah. Just wait till you see his curveball.
Coleman Crow.
Let's go. CC throwing big CDs.
I loved his work directing the movie Almost Famous. Oh, wait, that was Cameron Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Not of the Counting Crows?
Coleman Crow.
No.
Okay. I'm interested in that.
He needs to have them as his walkout music, to start the game.
Play off of it.
That's got to be. Yeah.
Well, and to be able to get Sproat somewhat back, not somewhat back on track. He was phenomenal yesterday and getting himself out of a couple of big jams. This is the early portion of the baseball season, right? There's always going to be the ups and downs. I think my favorite part, though, Drew, you mentioned it, the embrace for McGill from the fans. I guess maybe we should have made a bigger deal out of the Murph not liking the fans booing, because it didn't seem to me to have many legs outside of all of the conversations with different father-in-laws around the state. They're like, man, he was mad at the fans. He was mad at the fans. I don't even think the fans were that mad. They were mad at Trevor McGill, who likes watching somebody blow a lead in the 9th inning back-to-back games. But it was more of a frustration of the fact that this team had lost 6 straight. Come on, fellas. It felt like more of a booing of the Brewers than the individual walking off of the mound.
Exactly.
And for Murph to be able to couch it and go right at it, probably big time in the locker room. And I think for fans yesterday, it was, hey, fellas, we love you. But we got a little bit of a standard now here because we've grown accustomed to a certain standard of living. Drew, these early 2000s and 90s Brewers are not what people are expecting nowadays. They're expecting
that is true.
At least 81 wins, and we're not going to celebrate that game so we don't have a losing season.
There is indeed a standard. And expectations, it's funny that it's I'm still it's still novel to me, even though it's like this run of success. People like playoffs is not acceptable anymore. We got to go further than just making the playoffs. I think making the playoffs is still pretty good.
Making the playoffs is still a really good run.
Still pretty good. I don't know when I'll get tired of that, but I'm not yet.
No,
but, it's like, oh, okay, make the playoffs, and if you don't win a series, why even bother? That whole thing. Let's look at the Bucks. They just ended a run of being in the playoffs. Which do you prefer? One and done in the playoffs or not in the playoffs? I'll take the one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll take the one and done in the
That's
playoffs.
me.
And I did. I was tapping around a little bit this morning before we got in here on Doc Rivers now doing the he's doing the car wash, the podcast car wash, media car wash.
He was doing it before, and it's like he's
quick little
generated
send off. He's getting himself back in there.
But what
hanging
happened
out with
was
his buddy Bill Simmons.
What happened was suddenly players have time on their hands, and Miles Turner is doing a pod, and other people are popping in and talking about and corroborating the Shams reporting of the dysfunction and toxic nature of the locker room.
The way that Miles Turner said it is, I don't know who they must have had a tape recorder in there because it felt like it was word for word. But yeah, it happened. Yeah, it definitely happened. It was.
I'm not
awkward.
the snitch.
I'm not the snitch. But yeah, that's exactly what
that's
happened.
pretty much
but yeah,
exactly.
that's pretty much
Whoever
exactly
it was
what happened.
Whoever it was must
Wink,
have taped
wink.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. Maybe there was an assistant coach that wanted the job. We've seen how that could potentially happen. I'm fascinated where he said it to Simmons and just in Doc fashion. I was talking to ownership a couple of months ago, and all of a sudden, like 7 weeks ago, he comes up to me. We had this really good meeting, great meeting, and all of a sudden they're talking about what do we want to do the next year and a half, and I said, oh no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. So he was the straight Magic Johnson meme with about 7 weeks to go. That would also have been before said meeting. So if it was 7 weeks ago, makes sense how that March 21st meeting went because it would the timeline would map out that right around the end of February, Doc said, yeah, this is going to be it. This is going to be it for me.
Yeah. Well, then Doc, if you're trying to fire the boys up, like once more into the breach, boys, are you just like trying to protect your all-time record and winning percentage, just watching it go down like you're a 401k when the market goes bad? Like what? I've taken sorrier teams to the playoffs than this, and I totally thought this was going to be a team. Okay, let's go win it. It's a strange
it's an incredible Doc Rivers, by the way.
I'm old enough to remember.
Thank you.
I'm old enough to remember Doc Rivers playing at Marquette, and Doc Rivers, wonderful guy. Everything about him and his affinity for Milwaukee. Soundbite. Every time he's come through Milwaukee, he has been a great ambassador. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for his longevity. What is he on the top 5 like all-time wins of NBA coaches or 6?
Stocking him
definitely
up.
Top 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deserved Hall of Fame for coach. He might not have been a Hall of Fame player, but they are pretty generous with those jackets.
Yeah, and they go like service to the game.
But, he definitely is a Hall of Famer, around. And he's I think from everything I've heard, like a Hall of Fame person in terms of interactions, and he's with the city and the community. But I think he's kind of overrated as an NBA coach, right? And he was not
that's wrong.
He was not the right man for the job when the Bucks brought him in. It was like, what are you papering over? It reminds me of when the Bucks ownership, when Lazary and Edens and this new group came in. Remember they had Gus Johnson be their TV guy for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ask for that? Is Gus Johnson a fit for Milwaukee?
No.
Like they thought it would work, and
we
it was
found
like,
that out on that Kyle Lowry game winner.
Yeah, and when he went nuts and it's like,
Ace Philly.
Was that a fit? Did it get you attention? Did it get you? Did it in any way? Did it help Seemed like it should have worked. We could take a big name and a guy who's successful and put him in, and it works. Take a big name and put him in. Like, that's not necessarily how things work in these parts. Anyway.
Well, in these parts and kind of in sports, Drew, right? Like it always sounds best. Grab the big name, pay the most money, and it works out. Now, granted, that there can be real credence, I think, to fans' frustrations of Jimmy Haslam and whatever effects he's had on the team, because that's kind of what they do in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right? Like it does. Hey, it's
Deshaun Watson.
It's not working. Let's give Deshaun Watson $80 million more than anybody else has given him. And we see how that plays out. The thing about Doc, when they moved off of Griffin, which I think the biggest argument is, was Griffin the right hire at the beginning when you could have had Kenny Atkins, who, has had Cleveland as the number 1 seed a couple of times, still hadn't done anything in the playoffs. Nick Nurse, who has Philadelphia into the playoffs, still hadn't done anything since going there. So like there's a weird one as to who you would have went with. But once you decided to relieve Griffin in the middle of the year, it was like, dang, this is a pretty small pool that we're going to be fishing in.
True.
And it made some sense, I guess. But when you have to give him 4 years and $40 million and you're already still paying 2 others, you were locked in for a while. And it was pretty clear after maybe year 1.5 that it wasn't going to work, but they were still so sunk with it.
They were pot committed
that there was nothing else to go with. And Doc, Hall of Fame soundbite, like always tremendous for the media. That's where we had a lot of time where you could possibly see that the coach on the sideline might not have been that great. But every time that he walked into the press conference, I was like, dang, we're going to get something. And for the radio show the next day, we were smiling ear to ear, knowing that he was going to give a soundbite. And he delivered enough of them. And now we need to figure out who on earth is. I'm fine, though, Drew, if the next guy's a brutal soundbite, as long as they can win games.
That's the trade-off. Yeah,
I'll make that trade. I'll make the trade, and we'll sacrifice for the good of the content of the show because we'll make up for it. We'll take it if the next Bucks coach is not a good soundbite, as long as they win.
Well, why did people put up with Belichick as long as they did in his antics, which being a copycat top-down operation like football and sports is, every coach tried to copy that and tried to be, Doc's. Murph's a little bit different. He vibrates.
He's a soundbite and he wins.
Yeah, he vibrates at his own frequency. And I've said before, Murph's act. Introduce yourselves. And when they're playing the Dodgers and you got 50 Japanese reporters who what is this going on? What custom is this? Like, we're not used to this.
Yeah,
it was quaint because you're winning, because you're in the NLCS. If you're losing, that wears thin, and people get sick of everything. Like, you can have the most popular guy in the world. If you don't win, you're not going to be that popular.
100%. So they live long enough to become the villain very quickly.
And that's Doc's thing. So Doc's, depending on what happens with Giannis and where the Bucks go from here, if the Bucks bounce back from this and they somehow rise up and are successful pretty quickly, nobody's going to remember Doc's tenure. Really, it's going to be
a blip on the radar kind of deal. Yeah,
it could end up being oh man, when they hired that guy is when it really went, beginning of the end.
Well, and people now, it seems like the race to say what the beginning of the end was, and some people are still saying the firing of Mike Budenholzer. I think that one was pretty justified. You were the number 1 overall seed and you got smacked by an 8 seed at the time, or it was the Damian Lillard trade, or it was the firing of Adrian Griffin. Instead, Drew, some people still, I do believe, are going to go back to that ownership change as to when it changes. I don't know that I can pinpoint it there, but you can definitely tell that was when everything around the situation kind of changed. And maybe that's more of when it changed with Giannis, was when the people that he was the most familiar with, that he had grown up with, that he remembered and knew everybody, when that started changing, well, you didn't seem like you had the same, what's the best way of putting it? You didn't get the benefit of the doubt as much every single year that you were going to be able to make something good out of it.
I think this is going to be a reminder of, and when Giannis didn't play in the All-Star game when he was hurt and on the sidelines, that was kind of a preview of what life was like when there was no Buck in uniform in the All-Star game. But this is going to be a reminder of how long the NBA playoffs are when you're not in it.
They grind out
a little bit like the NFL playoffs. Oh man, it's a different. We're seeing the other side now, and you can get spoiled pretty quickly.
It's spoiled. It is. Now we are the Squidward meme, right? Where we're sitting out, seeing everybody run around, have fun, get excited about their 2-7 matchups and their 4-5s, and who can we maybe get in the second round? We're
you're seeing crowds, you're seeing face painters, and you're just sitting here when's the draft?
I guess I got to watch 3-on-3s in Chicago, Illinois, at the draft combine.
When's the draft?
Awesome, sweet, okay.
So, and I was thinking about this too because we're getting ready for the draft, and I looked at some mocks. Believe it or not,
come on now, all right, let's go.
And I'm looking at that first round. And I'm like, wow, Chiefs have a top 10 pick. When's the last time that happened? And it's like, Chiefs fans, they experienced it like last year. Like, what? We're not.
Quick snap back to reality.
We're not in the conference championship game every year. What the hell?
This doesn't wait. I thought it was the Arrowhead Invitational.
The Ray Liotta on the porch at the end of Goodfellas. It's like I used to be something, and now I'm just a schnook. And I'm living like everybody else.
Luckily, that Schnook might still have its game coming back a little bit later, if depending on when number 15 gets back.
Get some offensive linemen to protect the guy.
That's it.
But they have a top 10 pick, and they haven't been in this situation. So maybe that's novel for them that they're paying attention to the top of the draft, and they're paying attention to the first hour of coverage, whereas in the past they probably didn't.
Well, in the Rams, I mean, they went from a time when they would legit buy a vacation house for draft week because they're like, we got like
Always.
4 picks and they're all on day 3. We'll figure it out then. But we're going to be hanging out here in Malibu with everybody. All right. Bring your families, bring your wives, whatever. Have some fun. Now they got to pick in the top 13 and they had 2 first-round picks. So they flipped the script on where they're at.
Exactly.
I'm excited for it. And I'm also excited for Drew. I was joking about it with Nags yesterday. The shortest draft of all time. The shortest first round of all time.
Yeah.
After the NFL moves off shaves off 2 more minutes of the first round clock. Now, granted, 2 first round picks for the Cowboys means that they're going to go their full 8 minutes and potentially plus because Jerry's got to get like 4 or 5 different versions of FaceTime on there. But it's going to be the fastest first round of all time. And I'm just disappointed that we don't get to enjoy the benefit of the Packers picking it, 26. And that happening in 2.5 hours instead of 4.5 hours like we were accustomed to.
Exactly. We are looking forward to your interaction today, 877-794-1973. I'll admit, even with like no Brewers game to watch last night, there was nothing really on my plate last night. I have FOMO for an event that took place last night, and I will tell you what that event is. It's almost, I won't say it's crushingly disappointing that I did not partake in this event, but it is it's a regret.
After a little bit of the reviews, living with more of it too.
Yes, indeed. We will talk. We got all kinds of stuff to uncover today. We're glad you're up early with us, you insomniacs, early risers, and sociopaths waiting for the health club to open. Well, the doors are open now. The Stairmasters are yours, and let's buckle up and ride it out till 8 a.m. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddling up on a Friday. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmidt, David Gasper's in for Armin today. Armin off again. Armin's become the Johnny Carson of our show. He's just got guest hosts, guest producers.
In and out whenever he wants.
Just take the summer off.
Yeah.
Ahead,
he's got vacation.
We kid. We love Armin. He's with us in spirit. He may or may not have been at Billy's favorite place yesterday.
That may or may not. I don't know. There could be a lot of black Kia Sportages with the
baby on
with
board.
that baby on board sticker in the back.
That's
There
right.
could be a lot that are driven by a
could have been anybody.
Armenian.
You can get us
Could
on
be a
the talking text line 877-794-1973. Stirring Brewers victory yesterday 2-1. Happy flight to Miami, where I guess they dressed up and seized the occasion.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the sound
A
of that.
little
Okay.
theme trip. What'd they do, Gasper?
Miami Vice.
Oh,
So
the
they all had their white pants, their Panama hats, and the pink shirts and like all the colors, flowy stuff. It was the boys were having fun with it.
Anybody
Chad
really
Patrick-
go all out?
I mean, let's see. Abner Uribe showed up basically like in a full suit.
Yeah, that makes sense. That plays.
Yeah, Chad Patrick had the big chain along with the Panama hat and everything, like top 3 buttons undone. Trevor McGill also went with like the full Miami Vice kind of look. So it was great. It was a lot. Woodruff was all had the whole like all white getup.
Well, that's good that Trevor McGill was, because I heard him talking about, I don't know. Can we say this? He was rubbing balls on his leg yesterday.
Yes, that's what he told us.
That's what they thought he was doing. He was getting into some action there with that Blue
some
Jays
Hank
dugout.
Panky. Yeah.
Walks out of there just looking like the coolest cat in the world.
Yeah.
The slick back hair, Miami Vice style. I don't know. Maybe he's that kid in the locker room saying, "I think I got my swagger back."
I happen to be a fan of the team bonding things, and
Love that
I always,
stuff,
Blake Perkins was suited and booted, like he had the suit jacket buttoned up.
Looks like he
was
could
looking
hang out in
great.
Miami.
Yeah.
Now, there are some fans of a certain age, and back during my beat days, they may have PTSD because of a famous incident with the Brewers in sweep suits. I believe it was like 01. I have to check. My memory's foggy like the weather outside. But the Brewers swept a series at Wrigley, and then they decided to celebrate, and they were on their way to Pittsburgh, and they said they had these suits. So they all dressed up like gangsters, like kind of zoot suits. They all look like the 20s
Chicago
gangsters.
mobsters,
Yeah. And it was a team bonding thing. It was funny, and they were waiting to sweep a series on the road, and they put the suits on, and then they went to Pittsburgh, and they were 38-34 at that time. They went to Pittsburgh and got swept, and they lost 60 of the last 90 games of that season.
Oh no!
And they finished the season 68-94.
So that sweep suit got a lot of run.
The sweep suit got a lot of run. It was like the curse of the sweep suits. Good job. You guys are rolling. You're 4 over. You're on a high. Let's put on these dumb suits, fly to Pittsburgh, and get our asses kicked.
roundhouse.
Yeah.
So-
Is that a Davey Lope special?
This was Ned Yost.
Oh, that was Ned. Okay.
Yeah. And when Ned came in, like, I always thought it was stupid. There was this tradition that guys, they had to travel on getaway games, and if they were flying somewhere, they'd wear suits.
Oh, they
And it
were
was always
they were
team
full
rules.
dress up that way.
Full
Okay.
dress up.
Got it.
And I always
got
thought,
it. Yep.
like, that's really dumb, because you're getting you go from a bus to the tarmac on a charter, and maybe the flight attendant see you, and you're flying to the next city, and you get into the hotel at 3 a.m, and there's like maybe a couple autograph seekers and the hotel people and janitors.
Mhm.
But who are you impressing with these suits? Like, hockey players do it right. Well, they travel, they dress up for games and stuff, but when they travel like the Admirals by bus, they put on the tracksuits.
Yeah, they put on the tracksuit. Be
And
comfortable.
college athletes always in tracksuits. But anyway, so it was like, the curse of the sweep suits. Curse of the sweep suits.
I've often thought about that too with the incredible outfits. I'll use that adjective instead. That we see like in walk-ins, like in the NBA. NBA, I do give credit to the players, because generally you're putting that goofy thing on right after anyway. And NFL, you're seeing these guys walk in with some kind of elaborate look, wild fit, and then they walk out to the post game in the sweatsuit. It's like, no, you put that clown suit right back up on if you're going to go out of here after that.
I'm a fan of the team theme. Now, there's always a thing where you make the rookies dress up.
For sure.
Which is, a lot of times they made them dress in drag, and it's story time Friday. But yeah, there was one time they did that to the rookies. Mark Loretta's rookie year. Loretta, of course, like now he's an executive. He's a smart guy. They did it in New York. They were flying to New York, And they had the bus drop the rookies off, and some of them were in drag and some of them were in ridiculous clown suits. And I think Ronnie Belliard might have been like the Hamburglar or something. Like,
so he was in his uniform,
like a Mayor McCheese or a Hamburglar. But so they had these, and what they did was they dropped the rookies off like 2 blocks from the Grand Hyatt where they used to stay, right in Grand Central Station. So they dropped the rookies off, and then the bus came in and the veterans were all in the lobby, and they wanted to jeer them and like kind of make a gauntlet for them to have to walk through. Well, Loretta, being the ringleader and a Northwestern grad who, when he signed with the Brewers were competing against Kmart, which wanted to give him a big bonus to join their executive program. So they had to up their offer by $25,000 to get him.
To get him out of a corporate job,
anyway,
yeah.
But they were competing against the corporate giant of the time, Kmart. But Loretta found a way, and I don't know, he might have tipped somebody or something, but he got him in a side door, and they averted the main lobby, and they got in, and the veterans were sitting there waiting and they never showed up. So it was like the ultimate FU.
Oh, that's perfect.
But yeah, so it was always dicey. It's like, well, they would go to Goodwill, and there's always veteran guys that would go and get the suits, and they would sometimes they put thought into it. Brewers used to have this guy, Alan Leverall, this kind of beefy reliever, and he had to be a Hooters girl. The orange shorts and the halter, and it was not a good look for that dude. It was whoa. So they did that, and they put thought into it, but you had to do it if you had to thread the needle. You wanted to do it after a win.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that after you get packed 6-3.
We just lost. Yeah, we just lost, and we gave up a walk-off grand slam in the 9th. Oh, let's put on these funny suits, and then
it'll be a lot better, guys.
Yeah. So the sweep suit thing, they were rolling. It's like, let's go, and it was the curse of the sweep suits. So I'm glad they did this. I like it when it's the whole team. They've done the football jerseys before. They did the Euchre dress up, the Euchre theme, loud sport coats and stuff. I'm a fan of that.
Well, you got to be doing some stuff to stay connected and be hanging out
and
because
break up the monotony.
They're with each other so long, and it is. And you're right, Drew. Break up the monotony of you're like, well, what do you mean? It's 3 weeks in. Well, it's over 2 months that they've already been together when you count in spring training.
Longer. Yeah, even longer. Guys were working out at the complex. So I'm a fan of those dress-up days. The rookie hazing thing, it's a little bit like fraternity hazing. Some franchises are like, nah, don't do that. Don't ostracize the rookies. We want them to be, we want them to be in a good mental place. Like, don't beat them down.
Yeah, make them carry your pads. Don't do anything weird.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, they send them on a coffee run in Chicago whenever they're there. That's what they do. Full uniform,
go get coffee. That's tradition.
And make sure you give me a cake pop.
Yeah.
If you forget that, you're going back.
Remember when Jeff Jenkins was a rookie, he had to provide a box of donuts and a fresh USA Today at the locker of like Greg Vaughn's locker every day.
Every day
I had to do it. Otherwise, what are you doing? Where's my donuts, dude?
That was like in that Showtime Lakers documentary where it was I think Magic had to bring Kareem.
Oh yeah, Kareem's like carry my orange juice
and his paper every single day. Nah, man, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that, bud. Sorry.
I like that, but it did make me think of the sweep suits. So that a memorable moment in Brewers history. Like they probably would have gone off the rails anyway, but a lot of people blamed the damn dress-up day because they were 38-34.
Yeah.
And then they went and got swept 4 games. It was a horrible series in Pittsburgh. And then like the wheels came off.
Well, if the Brewers go off and be the team that we anticipated they would be and planned on them being playoff team and potentially a division title winning team, will the Murph calling out the fans for booing Trevor McGill, will that be the turning point? The turning point of the season?
Well, there'll be a lot of those. But yeah, we'll forget about that. My money's on us forgetting about that.
I was going to say, I think there's going to be 10 or 12 new ones.
And McGill might spit up a few more. Probably. Yeah. That's the way baseball works. We'll see. I don't know that he's out of the woods yet. But he had a good day.
I don't know that he's out of the woods. I do think, and I don't know, we touched on it a little yesterday after seeing him and seeing the situation. Hunter called it perfectly. He's like, just because Uribe was in there,
they were short. Well, Uribe
not doing again.
He had pitched a couple days in a row,
we're not throwing him right back in there.
I got the 9th,
and I do believe for the majority of the time you'll probably be seeing Abner Uribe in that closing spot.
I think so too. That's probably going to happen. So there was no Brewers game to watch last night. But there was Brewers activity in town. It was the debut of the Euchre documentary in full. Like I didn't stick around on opening day to watch the preview, and I didn't get an invite. And I felt bad about it. It's at the Oriole, great historic theater. Opening night of the Milwaukee Film Festival, they had like a red carpet. The sausages were downtown on Farwell and North, right tremendous. There, and it was like a big deal. And I had a friend who was at it, and he texted me on his way in. He's like, I'm going in to see the Euchre. I'm jealous. Like I didn't get a ticket. I could have tried to pull some strings or something, but I didn't think of it and didn't happen. I will wait like the schnook. I will wait until the theatrical release in the Marcus Theaters this summer, just like the Just a Bit Outside doc, which I saw 3 times.
We're gonna have so much
I'll probably
fun
see
when
the
we go.
Euchre thing. And then he texted me at the end. He goes, "Hey, you make a little cameo. There's a shot of you in the press box."
There we
I'm like,
go.
"Oh,
Hey, there we go.
Star
Movie
stage
star.
Drew
All
Drew
right,
Wilson.
all right. Well, that makes me not want to go see the movie.
No, I'm
'Cause
not.
I don't watch
definitely be out
anything
of
I'm
there
in.
on that
I
now.
have this like creepy thing where I can't watch myself do anything. I've never watched like a TV show I've been on or anything.
The
that
little
I do.
bits that Drew and I appear on that Packers pregame show when we're driving up, we quickly potentially change the channel.
Click. Yeah, exactly. Click. I don't do it. But I want to see this movie. The producers seem like good dudes, and how can you have a bad doc about Euchre? But I feel bad that I missed the opener, and my eye in the sky, my reporter, my spy said, "Yeah, it's really a fun movie."
I heard
it's really good.
From all the small little bits of reviews that we saw last night. It was phenomenal. And I mean, 1,200 people theater, back-to-back nights for 2 sold-out shows, or more than 1,200 people are going to see it over the next 2 days. Yeah, there's more than 1,200 people that need to see the story told of Bob Euchre. So I'm excited for when this gets a little bit of a Marcus run, how long it goes. And much like Just a Bit Outside, kind of like A Road at Night with the Howard Moore documentary that was incredibly moving. People will go out and see it when they've been told about it. And there is a little bit of a sense of urgency, right? They say, hey, this is going to be out for a short time. People are going to be flooding theaters to be able to see this.
Yep, no doubt. No doubt. It's going to be cool. And maybe the Brewers will do something where they show it after a game in full or something, or they do something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, especially too, if you hold off a certain amount of the traffic there during that rush hour traffic.
Giddy up. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. It's Friday. We're going to finish strong, even though as we batten down the hatches and prepare for the last round of
one more, only one more,
and then we catch a break after today. We got Brewers Marlins tonight to watch. That's good. We got playoffs in hockey and basketball coming up, which is
Admirals
gonna be
puck
good.
here tonight as well. 7:00
Admirals
face off.
Home finale for the regular
season.
Yeah, we got that going as well. So plenty on our plate. Dolph's going to join us at 6:30. We're going to sneak in a little draft talk because a week from today, the Packers will be on the clock. You'll be hearing the chimes. I can hear the chimes already in my head. The pick is in. We're getting close to that as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Friday. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmidt, Dave Gasper's in for Armin today. Armin scheduled to appear on Monday on the program. He had time yesterday to do the El Baldo's podcast with Butchie.
All right. Wow, is that during nap time or something?
He's in childcare. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably nap time. Yeah,
childcare mode. Yeah, they probably worked it around nap time. But we're not. We bust Armin's balls, but it's all good. It's all
the thing is, we wouldn't do it if he wasn't so much fun.
Exactly.
But it's so fun.
When someone is not part of the panel and you're used to them, and it's like, we're used to having Armin here. I'm going on vacation in early May. Feel free to rip me every day for 3 hours.
Oh, 100%.
I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be on a beach. I'll be drinking beers and like umbrella drinks.
Well, it's a tale as old as time. And it's also like one of the best parts of somebody else going on vacation is disdaining that person for a good 3 or 4 days and being jealous as hell, having a bunch of FOMO like we were talking about last night. I don't really hate the people that were in the at the Oriental last night being able to see the Euchre doc, but I had a whole lot of FOMO and kind of hated myself for not being one of them. So that's where the vacation one comes into.
Yeah, my family's all hanging out in Florida right now, just enjoying the beach and the sunshine. And meanwhile, I'm here.
And you're waking up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah,
that's right.
Before the crack of dawn.
Oh, that is fair. Yeah, far before the crack of dawn. Let's be honest.
All right. So in this era of shortened attention spans and TikTok and the news cycle, and I always say life comes at you now out of a fire hose. It used to come as a trickle. Used to be that kind of like that trickle hose that you put on when you freshly plant something, you know, like a steady stream of water.
Like the garden hose you could drink out of.
Life is a fire hose right now. And when the draft fires up next week, there may be one last gasp of this Rossini story when Vrabel has to talk, and like the Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel has been a story. And
so fun.
It's had a life. It's still getting churned. Michelle Beadle weighing in yesterday saying that she knows stuff about other female reporters, and it's sorted. It's tawdry. Why is this a story? People that bitch about it, like, are you new here?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
It's got
Come on.
Patriots. It's got a coach that was just in the Super Bowl. It's got a $1 million insider, the highest paid employee of the New York Times. It's got everything.
It's got an acting head coach having a potential affair with somebody that covers the NFL, one of like the top 5 newsbreakers in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's a big story, because otherwise, if you could tell me when it's happened again, if you could point to me when it has happened before, then I would admit that, well, it's nothing that we haven't seen before.
Friend of mine, a former coworker, called him the prime minister, good friend of mine. He posted something yesterday, and I crafted a reply, and it's funny. I think I put my phone down, and then I didn't hit send.
I do that all the time.
I didn't put it in the ether till this morning, right before the show. But his take was, I've been thinking about this. I keep coming back to one question. What does this story accomplish? It doesn't affect the league or the game. There's no crime. Does it show poor judgment? Sure. People in every walk of life show poor judgment every day. They both have rebuilding to do with their families, but it doesn't affect anyone else at all. I saw that an anonymous Patriot player believes Vrabel owes the team an explanation. Okay, then every player that's unfaithful still has to do the same, right? Well, then they're going to have to do the same.
Sure.
They won't have any time to game plan. They'll all be owning up to trysts every day and at halftime. This will be hard to hear for some of you, but in 2026, there are still things that aren't any of our business. This isn't any of our business. Stories like this are why the public hates the media. Just a hit piece written to take down public figures. Useless and hollow. I'm hearing that a lot. Why is this a story? Move on. That's not a story. Well, I replied, and I might as well just share it here because I replied to his post.
Yeah, please do.
My reply was, if a City Hall reporter is having an affair and sleeping with the mayor, would you trust that reporter is providing honest coverage of the day's news and events, or would you assume that every story was slanted favorably toward the mayor? Would you trust that the reporter's employer, if they knew about this relationship and were benefiting from these scoops and these reportings, that they're objective in any other venue and arena, and that their coverage is on the up and up?
Or with any of their subsidiaries.
Then story time. I once wrote a column about a player who he was coming up, and it's like, he deserves his contract extension. They should commit to this guy. He deserves it. He's earned it. And
that's a great Bryce Trang story.
The player loved the piece. Kind of like if I wrote a piece by Bryce. The player loved the piece so much that he said, "Oh man, that was great." His agent liked it. So that was awesome. He was like looking at a catalog that he gets, that players who are under Nike contracts used to get catalogs. It was like they get $5,000 worth of free merch every year or whatever. And they used to take care of the clubbies, get them all shoes and stuff. He's like, "Hey man, there's a set of Nike golf clubs. You want these? I'm going to get you these golf clubs." I'm like, "That's fine, dude. You don't have to do it." He's like, "I'm going to get you these." And he's like, "What kind do you want?" I'm like, "Nah, It's okay. He's like, how about you and your wife? You want to go on a cruise when the season's over? I said, that's not how this works, dude. Like that. I'm going to write something tomorrow that you're going to hate and you're going to want me killed.
Yep.
That's the
That's
deal.
how this goes.
I didn't, you can't, I'm not in this for that. Right. And it's like, that's not how this works. And then he said, well, then what can I do for you? I'm like, I tell you what you can do for me. As long as you're here, I come to your locker, you be there, talk to me, answer my questions, take my calls, and be honest.
Yeah, and just be honest.
And that's
be
it.
you.
That's the end
Give
of
me
it.
the answers.
But the thing is, I'm a man. And I worked alongside women have come even, it's not like I was in the locker room in the 70s when women weren't allowed, but there's now women at every game, every press conference. There's women in every social media, every aspect of media, every level, basically, even play-by-play with Lisa Byington, every level. There are women at every level, and they become so common that the stigma, when I was in my beat days, guys would see female reporters, and there's always mouth-breathing fans, and you could hear it like from fans when we're walking in the press box and getting off the bus at the World Series or something. They'd be like, oh, she's sleeping with players to get scoops, and that was like I didn't have that hurdle.
No,
but they did.
Amazingly, nobody ever suggested that's what you were doing with Mark Loretta.
No. But people would say, Drew, you don't know ball, or you're an idiot.
Yep.
I dealt with that.
Different,
but no one said
tropes.
that I was trading, sexual favors for scoops. Now, the thing is that now a lot of people are back to that, and they're saying that about female reporters, and she's kind of picked that scab.
That's the worst
and
part.
It's back, and it's unfair that everybody's painted. And now some women are caping up saying, well, does everybody, all these insiders, when Schefter got caught sending that letter for approval to a GM on a news story before it was published, which is a complete cardinal sin and fireable offense, in my opinion.
Yep.
But, did that impugn everybody? Well, it's different because women there's a predisposed where people thought that. And it's like, then they brought that back into the fore. And my thing was, and consenting adults and marriages, and that's all that matters is that marriage. And that's, you live by your own moral code. And I've always said, you plant your freak flag, do what you want to do.
You do what you want on your own time.
If you are an insider of a sport and you want to get romantically involved with someone in a high level in sport that can give you information and can be in that part of that wheelhouse, you can't cover that league anymore. If Diana Rossini said, I want to have this relationship with Mike Vrabel, be it on a side piece or anything, go to your bosses and say, I want to cover the NBA. I want to switch to MLB. And you can do that, but not, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit like if you're a fan of a team, you can't cover that team like a fan. Like you can't cover the league and root and openly slant your coverage to that team. It's like, that's not how it works.
It's a different beast. And for this one in particular, like when you are going to potentially say is a tough way of putting it, but some influence on the way people believe, whether it's the availability, the excitability of a player going and playing for a certain guy, like the Max Crosby one that came out. Everything that she's done is called into question at that point.
And everything that they publish is called into question.
Everything. And it was one of those deals.
Why your credibility is everything. And once you lose that,
especially when in a business where your credibility is you telling the truth. And the worst thing in here was the cover up.
Exactly.
By far.
That is
worst
by
thing
far.
Is the cover up.
All right. We're off and running. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. One of the early concerns of the Brewers' first couple of weeks of the season is former All-Star closer Trevor McGill's struggles. Then Thursday happened.
1-2, and he struck him out. A curveball, and McGill is fired up, having words with Varsho. He left to booze the other night. He leaves to cheers today, mixing it up with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now. It's an emotional game.
Play-by-play courtesy of Brewers TV. Milwaukee hangs on to beat Toronto 2-1 to win the series 2-1. But getting McGill going could prove to be critical. The crew now heads to Miami for 3 with the Marlins starting tonight. Just 2 other games in the division. In Pittsburgh, it was the Nationals over the Pirates 8-7. The Reds get blanked by the Giants 3-0. Cincinnati getting just 1 hit in that one. And the NBA's play-in tournament wraps up tonight. Charlotte is at Orlando. Phoenix hosts Golden State. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys out and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, be hand, see puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Huddled up on a Friday. It's a foggy Friday in the good land. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid. Dave Gasper is in for Armin Sarian today. Thank you for waking up early with us. We appreciate all you early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths, everybody else who's up early. We're your morning cup of coffee.
And listen, and a good one too. Added
That's
a
right.
lot of caffeine in this one.
That's right. We are live on 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. The iHeartRadio app is everywhere, and YouTube, Facebook, and X for the stream. You can reach us on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 414-799-1973. Gets you in. So yeah, we were just talking about the Diana Rossini thing, and I know people are sick of it. What are you giving oxygen to that for? Because it's still getting churn.
Well, and I mean, there's different people.
There's tentacles of it.
Yeah, there's tentacles of it. There was a young lady that was actually relieved of her duties with the USA Today because of what she had said something about it, talking about how it said women in sports back a number of years with the situation. And then they're like, these do not reflect the beliefs of the employer here at USA Today. And it's just, it's such a sticky conversation. However, that's the overriding sentiment for me. The people most affected, the two young boys that are going to have to read about this story in 5 or 10 years on the internet, because it's not going to go away. Diana Rossini's two young sons, as well as women in journalism that are doing this the right way, that have still and will always have to go through different levels of questioning than us. And again, Jay Glazer goes and hangs out with the head coaches at the pool.
Jay Glazer works out with players.
Yeah, Jay Glazer works out with players and trains them. You could say that's a huge conflict of interest.
It is, absolutely.
And but it all changes when you just lie about it, right? I've always gone back to that part of it. And at the end of the day, if they would have come out and said in the beginning of this whole thing, what you see is what you get. All right. It happened.
It's a private matter.
Private matter. It happened and move on. But you start lying, you start getting caught up in things. And Drew, the easiest thing to do is be yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's about the easiest thing you can do in the world, because you're never going to get caught being someone else if you're just being who you are.
It's the truth. This will someday be a case study in PR classes and crisis PR, because I don't know if AI can craft good PR or not, but to go out and plant a false story that's easily disprovable, even though that's kind of it was a girls trip. There were 6 other people there. Where are they? Where are the pictures?
Can we talk to one of them?
Can any of them come forward and vouch? No one did.
Yeah, none. Well, they were, you know what, Drew? The other 6 people were also in their 2-person bungalows.
Yeah, there you go. So, and so the story crumbled there. The cover up often worse than the crime, but her resigning makes you wonder, was there other stuff coming? And then there's the whole thing about that ESPN's kind of lack of interest in this story is glaring, because ESPN now is the NFL.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And this isn't a favorable story for the NFL and for the whole media industrial complex that ESPN is such a big part of. Again, this is everything. A lot of the stuff with these insiders and a lot of stuff, there's a lot of transactional stuff that goes on. And I just told the story about a player offering to give me gifts because he liked the story I wrote. And I said, no, because you're going to hate me tomorrow. It's okay. That's not the way this works. But when it comes to these insiders, there are some guys who are accused of being on a certain agent's payroll. And they get the scoops about the agent's players, and they get the first dibs on stories and stuff like that. And a lot of people in the industry might say, they raise an eyebrow and go, of course you get
that's signed by David Mulugeta. Shockingly so. It's signed by Athletes First.
Yeah, Scott Boras, you go to his house for his Christmas party, right? You're basically on his payroll, and that gets murky. But with the sex thing, I don't even know how married couples work together. I don't know how married couples play golf together. I tip my cap to anybody who can do that. I always said, you
get a little separation.
I don't play much golf, but when I did, it was I don't want my wife out here seeing me throwing clubs and swearing and getting pissed. And we don't need that tension. And I do it to get away for 5 hours. So people who work with their wives day to day, man,
kudos to you, 100%.
Because it's you do you.
Work with family, it can be tough, dude. I mean, you see that in family businesses. That's why it's so important. That's why we enjoy being able to celebrate those, because you're around people for so long, things will end up changing up. The other part of when this will change, and if there is more to it, is when Vrabel talks. And that to me is the fascinating part from a football side of it. The team that was in the Super Bowl a year ago is walking a week away from the NFL draft, and their head coach, who was the greatest thing since sliced bread 3 months ago. I mean, everybody was talking about how on earth did they not hire Mike Vrabel? How did they not hire Mike Vrabel? Of course he was going to go to the Patriots, and now they're just going to go pick up where they left off with Bill Belichick and win a bunch of Super Bowls. Okay, well now, 3 months later, that name's a little bit different. So that part of it to me is fascinating going into the draft. I don't know that he's going to have to apologize to players. I don't know that he's going to have to set the record straight. All individual cases, guess what? There might be one player on that team that has a serious problem with it. And as long as he's going to be playing, he's not going to have the biggest problem with.
Did Robert Kraft apologize to the locker room after his Orchids of Asia day spa arrest?
No, but I think it's different when you're signing the checks and then you're the guy that's taking giving the orders. But I get what you're saying.
But Can you envision a scenario under which Robert Kraft would be so turned off by this that he would fire Mike Vrabel? Hell no.
Not at all. No,
not a chance.
He's just saying, dude, he paid
so
way
she
too
had
much.
to change jobs and he skates free, but it's a different situation. It's a different circumstance.
Totally. And again, freedom of choice, freedom of speech is not the same as freedom of consequence.
There are ethical standards, folks, and I just talked about it. Like if someone's covering City Hall and they're having a relationship with someone who, like the mayor or somebody, like that compromises their coverage. It calls into question, even if they're playing it straight, even if they're doing the job and calling people out, it still compromises. Like the appearance of impropriety shades everything. And now the Athletic, they didn't fire her because she resigned, but they would have had to fire her.
Yeah, or definitely, and it wouldn't have been like hey, she's just not going to be renewed here on June 30th. It would have had to be more of a real deal.
That's what was going to happen.
Drew, there were people on the internet that just were relentless on the Matt LaFleur having a drink with the beat writers for the Packers.
Oh my
God.
Example. How dare they?
Serious?
No wonder they're all in the tank for him. They won't say he should be fired.
That's why they're not asking him the tough questions.
They're all buddy.
That's a perfect example.
You're just worried that he's not going to come and have a glass of wine with you next year.
That's a perfect example because of some of the same people that were barking about that are telling us stop talking about this.
Yeah, no, it ends up being
and we're in a culture where I'm old enough to remember when reporters weren't really superstars and they weren't seen as gods. And I gotta say, it creeps me out a little bit. I get it, but when you go to the draft, I saw people like waiting in line to get Adam Schefter's autograph.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
oh yeah,
really?
100%, yep.
And and it's like that's the soup that we're in now, where the media stars are stars. It's like, man.
ESPN has definitely put the E in entertainment to the point where it's close enough to entertainment tonight.
Well, and that's the other thing. ESPN. There was a study. Someone just came out with they did a breakdown. ESPN in the last week devoted more time to the WWE than they did to the MLB and the NHL.
100%. Yeah. Shocker. Where's their money going?
Shocker. Where did they invest?
Yeah, where'd their money go?
And you can say, well, the E in ESPN stands for entertainment and sports programming network. But man, they're supposed to cover sports, entertainment and sports. This is an old thing, but again, goes back to my early days as a cub reporter when one of my first assignments was to write that 3-paragraph short about the wrestling card, and then the paper stopped publishing results of the events of the AWA events at the arena and the auditorium because they just decided, well, it's not a sport. It's when the outcome is predetermined and it's scripted, it's not a sport, and we're not covering it. Like the same way we don't cover plays at the
but I'm
theatrical
excited,
plays.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see though if they put up one of those super cool ESPN PR graphics of whatever the numbers are for. It's going to be on for an hour on ESPN2 on Saturday night, ESPN2 and ESPN on Sunday. And they're going to be trying because it's also like fruitful, open ground. There's NBA playoffs, which again that might be something that you could probably talk about. Might be something you could talk about other than Liv Morgan.
As we speak, there's a WWE promo.
A massive promo rolling for it right now.
And it's like they're going overboard because they're in the tank. Now,
because they're in it.
Conversely, they've shown very little interest in the Diana Rossini Mike Vrabel story because they are now the league.
And they're in
this
it.
Is like, are they going to report stories that are negative to the league? You got to question it now. You have to.
It's going to be it's going to be one of the most interesting things to watch in the transition here. The nerdy side and the sports media side of me is like, what are they going to do with Good Morning Football? But the real one is, how are you going to cover a situation that transpires with? I mean, you mentioned Robert Kraft's transgressions. A few years ago, whether it's if it's another concussion study or if it would be again, knock on wood, I hope it's never another situation like when Ray Rice had his situation. Like, how does that continue to get covered? And what's the persistence on it, Drew? Right? Like,
exactly.
It's in the breaking news. It's the breaking news cycle. Boom. Okay. But are you going to continue to cover the parts that leak out after? That's going to be the interesting one. The other thing is they also don't own a couple of the shows. Right, like McAfee, they air it, but they don't own what he says. Yeah. And I question how much of it they own of whatever Stephen A's show is. Because mostly everything he puts up is an advertisement to go to his YouTube page or go to his Sirius show. So like, I'm fascinated to see when those things happen. Because it's the NFL. It's going to happen over the next year, and we'll see how it ultimately gets covered by them.
again, I came up in the old school era, and I tell the story all the time about how I went to a Brewers game that was T-shirt giveaway, and I wore that shirt to work one day, and the old heads made me go home and change because you couldn't wear a Brewers shirt and work for sports. You can't be a fan, right? And again, that's kind of eroded over the years. And Bill Simmons, people said it was quaint, and literally, it's like you've been neutered on. I've explained to people all the time that, you know, Brewers win, it's great for business, great for the city, but it doesn't ruin my day if they lose. And I just, I get paid no matter what, right? And that's the attitude of a beat, right? You're you got to be like a judge or an umpire. You're not supposed to have a vested interest in the outcome, right? Emotionally or otherwise. And I've told people the story, like everybody thinks like, oh, you know, it must be great covering a winning team. Most of the time, the beat guys that you go to the press box and ask the Dodgers guys and or even like the Cubs, like, when the Cubs won the World Series, it was great for business and it elevated the profile of the reporters covering the team in some ways. But there were some of those guys that were rooting against them because they were sick of it. They were burnt out. And they're like, I don't want these assholes.
Oh, for sure.
Forget about it. And it was so, and it's hard to explain to people that aren't in it. But there was a time, and El Jefe is the bridge point of this, because when I met John Greenberg, we met in college. The day that we met, we had this professor, Greg Hoffman, who did this corny thing where you had to, rather than get up and introduce yourself and to build camaraderie in the class on the first day, he'd pair you up and you had to interview somebody, and then you had to introduce the person that you interviewed to the class.
Okay.
You interview this person for 10 minutes, and then you get up and give a presentation on that person, and they'll do the same for you. I got paired up with El Jefe, John Greenberg.
Good start.
He was a bat boy turned PR intern with the Brewers. I was answering the phones at the JS Journal Sentinel at the old, then it was the Milwaukee Journal. And the boss, the day that I met John, like the day before, the boss had told me, hey, you're doing a good job writing these high school stories that we've given you. We want to make you we don't want you to be a writer all the time. And you can get off of that shift where you have to answer the phones and do the grunt work, but you got to find somebody to replace you. And I met Greeny. I'm like, are you getting paid by the Brewers? I'm like, no. He's like, you want to work at the paper? I can get you paid. Like, I can get you $7 an hour, or whatever the minimum wage was at the time. Yeah, okay. He went in, kind of had the same interview I did. Can you type? You know what the hours are? All right, you start Monday. Come in and drill training. So I trained him up, and he was working for us. And he was the Brewers PR intern. And in those days, it was a little bit looser. Teams, reporters, like they used to give tickets to people. They don't do that stuff anymore.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's like, so a buddy of mine who was also at the paper, Greeny, got us 2 tickets, and we went to the game, and the boss found out that we had comp tickets to the game. He called us in and lit us up. And he said it was like a fireable offense. Like, you can't take tickets from the Brewers. I'm like, he works with us.
Yeah.
He works for the Brewers.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have that either, because he's in here and he hears stuff and he's there and he can be and then I'm like, well, I'm looking at our sports section, and on page 3 or on page 2, the bottom of the page is a half-page ad from the Brewers. We're taking their advertising. He's like, that's
calm down over here, kid.
That's our business. That's different. Like, okay, well, ethics for you, not for us, right? That was one of those deals. So it's like there's these push-pull things all the time.
There's always going to be a line for it. It's just like, and I think we walk it as well with the sports gambling line that continues to roll. Just because everybody takes the cash from gambling companies doesn't mean that you can turn a blind eye to when somebody is when eyes are going into the game. Because if there's ever a possibility that calls into question, the integrity of the game calls into question, all of that pie gets taken away from everybody.
When the Bradley Center opened and you were there as a ball boy, they had this great buffet. It was amazing. I ate there several nights a week, and there was no charge. But my boss told me, like, we send the Bucks a check. We send to cover your meals, because you can't be taking free meals, because people thought there was a time early on in my beat days when if it was a bobblehead giveaway and they bring bobbleheads to everybody in the press box, because everybody in the stadium got a bobblehead, they're like, you shouldn't take that.
Oh, okay.
Because your coverage could be compromised. Now they think they realize how silly that is, right? How
right.
It is. But
some NCAA like
that's
rules.
Where exactly we had that, and then that kind of eroded over the years and stuff. The idea,
but
that
now
you
they've
could
stopped giving bobbleheads.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and now you got to pay for a meal at the press box.
100%.
The teams no longer provide.
Well, but you know what, Drew? I don't know if these beat reporters up in Green Bay paid for these bunt cakes that I saw yesterday. Sweet new media workroom, media auditorium at Lambeau Field, and there are bunt cakes sitting out there, Drew. They're currying favors because they got cake.
Yep.
I don't listen. I want
people
to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, and eat it too.
Well done, Dave.
So yes.
Well, thank you, Dave.
And again, like, oh, what does this matter? Well, everybody who bitched about LaFleur popping over at a party, or LaFleur like has been on the She Said T. You do a pod with Nags.
Yeah, that to
he
me
was
is
on
the
with
one.
Nags,
Like,
and he was on with Nags and Corey Benke, and it's cool
because
it's like, oh, okay.
He's also then talking to the fans, and that's ultimately the goal of this whole thing, is to be able to engender and keep interest in the league and interest in the games and fun on the field. Like it's a big part of it.
Tom Hardecourt and I would every spring have dinner with the late Phil Garner. We'd go, and it was his favorite. He turned us on to his favorite Mexican restaurant in Arizona, Los Dos Molinos. When we go there every year, and we just have a couple pitchers of sangria and some really, really spicy food, and just kind of chop it up. Didn't slant our coverage of it, but it was just like, you can be cordial, but there is a line.
See, and that's the thing.
It's
like those stories are not in a 2-person bungalow, right? Like all of it.
Yeah.
That's where like all of this is still come back to.
You're right.
As much as you can go right, you can go and have a couple. You can have a couple of pops. You can have some tacos. Men and women can also go do that. Like
that's right.
That doesn't, but that's not in a 2-person hot tub.
It's not pillow talk.
It ends up being just a tick difference,
right?
When you add in that fact.
877-794.
Although I mean, maybe Garner would have liked to sit in the tub with you guys. Maybe he wanted a hot tub with you and Hardecourt. You just never asked.
Yeah, true.
Maybe you guys could have been hot tub pals.
Could have been.
Tubby
Could have
buddies.
been. Yeah.
Tubby buddies.
Tubby buddies. I love that. Oh my God, that's so funny. When we come back, halftime has arrived here at the Huddle. It's the Friday edition. We're buckling up for some more storms. When we come back, Scott Dolphin is going to join the party. We'll talk to him about the Brewers, the draft coming up as well. Anybody care? Like, again, Packers not having a first round pick shouldn't be so diminished, because they've been picking in the low
20s anyway. But there's something you put that number 1 next to somebody's name.
And that's what I want to talk about. Is again, and it's so funny too, because they don't have a first round pick for the next 2 years, and there were a lot of people said, let somebody else make the first round pick for Goody because he sucks in the first round. We're going to talk about that whole dynamic as we move forward. Dolph is in next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
out. So.
Huddled up on a Friday in the good land. Drew, Billy, Dave Gasper's in for Armin. It's halftime of the show. We welcome Scott Dolphin from the country station down the hall. Dolph, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the NFL draft?
Let's go.
I'm really excited. I'm always really excited. And then usually by the middle of, the third round, I'm like, okay.
All right, I've had enough.
Can't they put the timer a little faster on this
Well,
thing?
they're speeding up the first round.
So
finally.
What is it? Is it
2 minutes
8
a
minutes.
pick?
Yep. So they shaved off 2 minutes each first round pick. So it's 8 minutes that you get for the first round, 7 minutes for rounds 2 and 3, and then I believe it goes to 5.
Should the Cowboys get less time since they have 2 picks? Like teams with multiple picks in the first round should get less time for the second pick.
Yeah, you should, but you know that if anything, they're going to get it extended because they got to get Jerry on camera at least 3 or 4 times.
That's true.
Now, luckily, he's not on the yacht, so we don't have to crowbar in that foothold for it. But he's got to sit there. First off, he's got to clean off the roots, Chris. Then go out and figure out what he's going to do. Because I imagine Jerry is doing an Al Michaels in there, and he's having himself a nice steak during the draft
So
night.
the Packers' first pick will come a week from today.
A week from today. Big one coming. Maybe some Iowa boys.
Unless
they trade.
Goody said there's a chance.
Yeah. Well,
trading up.
Are you saying there's a chance? That's why we're in here for first round of the draft night. And all the chaos you have
There's
to
a
have.
chance Sydney Sweeney will walk into the studio this morning and offer to model some bikinis for
Come on,
us.
don't ruin Dave's
Probably
day
not
like
gonna
that.
happen.
That's how we got him in here this morning.
Exactly.
I do.
That's the only hope here.
It is. But I love that first round because of that. There's always fireworks where you're going, what are they doing?
I hate the narrative because people in the past said, let somebody else make the first pick for Goody because he sucks in the first round. To which my stock reply is, oh, you don't like Jordan Love?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't like Jordan Love. Not a big fan of him.
I mean, Jair Alexander, Darnell Savage, Quay Walker, Eric Stokes.
Yeah, the Devontae Wyatt's not a bad one though. Like
Lucas
you start looking
Van
at certain
Ness.
ones, that's one that a lot of us can still scratch our heads for. But there's
But
I think Jair was a damn good first
very,
pick for a
very good
while.
player. Very good player.
By the way, did you see Jair talking about his mental health and the
Saying
stuff
why
that he went
everything was
through?
going
That's kind of
through,
why
yep.
things went sideways.
Really?
He shouted out the Baltimore organization for being
being kind of
accommodating.
proactive with
being
it. Yeah,
accommodating.
100%.
He had some mental health issues in Baltimore.
Was that a backhand at the Packers?
Wish him the best.
Shouting
I
out the
don't
Ravens?
think so.
It didn't seem as much like it. It just felt like they kind of caught him in the middle of it. Like, hey, we need to
and
figure
he
out what's
basically
going on
said
here.
that's why he's out of the game.
Yeah.
He said, But anyway, my thing about the draft is that we overinflate the importance of the first round. Sure, it's important, but to me, if you draft a David Bakhtiari in the fourth,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
It'll
good
still
draft.
work out,
He's
yeah.
a first round player. You can get first round equivalents, right? If Christian and the Packers have a string of second round picks who have been pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of times you get
Christian Watson was a second round pick.
You get notoriety for the first round, you get paid for the second and third round, and you build winners in the third or the fourth through seventh rounds.
To me, it's like let's say you get 7 picks. Usually Goody has more, but if you get 7 picks, what's your paradigm? I say like 2 starters, 4 contributors, and then maybe 1 guy, maybe 2 that you sign past their rookie deal.
Yeah,
that's a good draft.
Yeah, you got to get
no matter what the first round guy is, he can be the biggest bust ever if the other guys come through.
If you sign 2 guys to second contracts, that's a winner.
Yeah,
right. Like that means that you got 2 bona fide core pieces.
A lot of those guys are going to be special teamers, and some of them, there's always a couple, especially late round picks on Saturday, that just aren't going to pan out. They might for somebody else. They might catch on to a couple practice squads, but you draft them. Chances are, averages are, they're not going to pan out.
And in some way, and I'm always fixated on this time of year, the AJ Hawk thing. Like if AJ Hawk had been a 3rd round pick, people would love him, but there are still some people who denigrate his contributions to the Packers because he was a 1st round pick and he didn't make the Hall of Fame, which they think a number 6 or whatever he was overall should make the Hall of Fame.
He wasn't better than Brian Urlacher, even though he won a Super Bowl and he's the all-time leading tackler.
And he's the all-time leading tackler, and he showed up and he took pay cuts and he was a solid dude. But people, like, because of the expectations that came with the first pick. So in some ways, it's better that they let them all. Like, what if they didn't have numbers attached to them? It's like, and they did it in secret. And here's our 7 guys.
And then people would have been fired up that they took Evan Williams in the first round when they got him.
Talk amongst yourself. Guess who was number 1, who was number 7.
Because we don't like to label them. Why would you guys? But it is what it is. I get it, and it's gotten worse. But this whole thing now, as a Bears fan, what are you looking for from that team in the draft? Because we know where the Packers holes are, but what are the
Bears
Bears
have some serious holes too
I was
now.
gonna say they've had some attrition. They have injuries to camouflage. They're going to have guys,
Now
tipping.
they claim to have addressed the offensive line. After Drew Dahlman suddenly and shockingly retires, they went out and got the center for the Patriots, who was with the Vikings a long time. But yeah, I think both sides of the ball, Bears really need help with their pass rush on the defensive side of the ball. They didn't make any splash moves in the offseason, so you got to get Montez Sweat a bookend on the other side. They got some good young players, but I would think first and foremost they're probably going to go get an edge rusher with their first round pick.
Well, the thing for them is they're kind of set at some of the most important positions, right? Like
Skill
you get the skill positions, wide receiver, they're pretty plentiful, even though they got rid of DJ Moore.
Right.
They're using the first round pick of Roma Dunze and second round pick from Burden a year ago.
Yeah.
And Loveland, here you go. Here are the keys.
I think Burden's going to be a superstar in this league. Just watching him as a rookie and some of the moves he made and his speed, it's like, oh my God, this kid he can fly. He's crafty. He's a smart kid. So I think he's probably going to be the number 1 there. Roma Dunze was kind of disappointing last year. I mean, some of it was because of injury, so he's got to step up. You got Colston Loveland, who I think is also going to be a multi-time All-Pro before it's all said and done.
So you got, like with the Packers, the second round, Jaden Reed, Christian
Watson, Tucker Kraft, 3rd rounder. That broke the string of 3rd round picks that were just horrendous.
That's what I'm saying is like just look at it in totality.
I put Evan Williams in there as a 4th rounder as well a couple of years ago because he's a core player going forward.
Yeah, he's a definite sign beyond the rookie.
Well, the big rap on the Packers has always been, why aren't you taking a receiver in the first round? Well, they did pretty good with 2nd round picks.
Yeah, they
Oh.
wanted to take Christian Watson into the 1st round, but the Vikings wouldn't trade that 32nd pick. They'll trade the 34th.
But
we'll trade that 34th. But we're
Packers
not giving you that
history,
32nd.
wasn't it? Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, James Jones, all second
rounders.
Yeah, Greg Jennings, 2nd rounder.
Jennings.
Jones was
later.
4th rounder,
fourth.
but still,
Yeah. Jennings,
ultimately Super Bowl champion. Big reason why he ended up winning that was because of what they were doing.
And
in those
Devontae
rounds.
was a 2nd rounder, wasn't he?
Devontae was second rounder.
Yeah.
Yep. And you start wondering how the draft starts getting impacted more and more by the NIL kids, right? And the movability of players, how much they've seen in college football, how much of pros they've been in college football. Because you could say that you're somewhat pro ready when you come out. There's also a negative side of that where you're like, that potential might be fully tapped, or you've moved around so much that you haven't been able to fully develop. And we think that we're going to pull a ton out of you that nobody else was able to in like 7 months that you were only playing there in college football.
That's a great point. I don't think it's as much in football as it is in basketball, obviously, because they have much lesser chance of making the league because of the international players coming over. But in football, if you can make a couple mil or more now to stay on campus, although you could probably still make more if you're a high pick.
Yeah.
With bonus money going to the NFL.
Yeah, if you're a high pick, you can. If you're in like the first round, I don't know anybody paying full like first round slot money for players other than Jeremiah Smith. Like there's a couple of guys that I know are making that.
What's minimum now?
Minimum for the first round. If you're like one of the top 5 picks, I still think it's $9 or $10 million.
I mean, in general, let's say you're a mid-round pick. Minimum salary is
1.2 maybe.
So is it over $1 million now?
I believe it's over $1 million. Yeah. And now once you get lower in and you're kind of non-guaranteed in like 6th, 7th round, it might be a little different.
It's like $885 for rookies.
Okay.
And
then you're going to get bonus money on top of that. That's interesting.
And if you have for veterans, it's 1.3 is the
okay. That's it. 1.3 is the
veterans.
Yes.
Yeah. And 880 for his minimum.
Well, then I'll tell you this: there's a lot of people making that in college.
You can get a nice house in Green Bay for that.
Oh yeah.
You can feed everybody. Yeah, you can feed the family with that in Green Bay. That's no doubt about it. Now, maybe not in Vegas. Right? Like there's certain places that might not go as far. And maybe that's why like Xavier McKinney said, I lived in New York when I was young. Now maybe I'm starting to be a little more wise. I want to focus on ball and my bank account. Maybe I'll go to Green Bay. Low cost of living.
So we're talking about the draft, and we got to tell people about our coverage because Billy and our pal, the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, going to be teaming up. By the way, happy birthday, Wayne Larrivee.
Hey.
It's Wayne's birthday today.
Let's go. Voice of the Packers, Wayne
Voice
Larrivee.
of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, is going to be teaming up with Billy for our coverage. Now, in the event of an Admirals conflict, it'll be on social media.
Yes.
Which would be, you can be the second screen.
Which is honestly one of the best ways to enjoy the coverage. We've had the Wayne cam before. We're going to have both of us on camera going forward on this one. We'll have round 1 starting up at 7:00 on Thursday, Friday 6 to 11 for rounds 2 and 3. Saturday, really hardcores. We'll hang out, throw us up on the patio, grilling out, maybe smoking a brisket. Got a pork butt on the smoker. We're going to be with you for 5 hours.
All right.
11 to 4 on Saturday for rounds 4. Not 4 through 7 because there's no way in hell that they're going to get through the 7th round by 4:00. But we're going to get a majority of those picks in.
I hope you have a good catering sponsor that day.
There you go. Well, our sponsor is Potawatomi Sportsbook.
So listen, Dolph, might not be catering, but if they're bringing in parlays that are winning, that's all that matters. All right,
that's even better.
As long as we're winning there and we're betting above the rest of Potawatomi Sportsbook, I'll be okay.
That's awesome.
Potawatomi Sportsbook, an oasis for fans everywhere with dozens of sporting bets, kiosks, drinks, food, monster video wall. It's your place to become a legend. Potawatomi Sportsbook.
You can't describe that video wall to people that have not seen it. Well, you can try. I've shown it to people just on my phone. Look at this. This is great. But when you go there, your mouth just drops open for the first 5 minutes you're in.
Outside of the Circa Sportsbook, it's like as good as there is.
Like good as there is.
Yeah.
And people laugh when I say it. I'm like, it is. If you thought that there was going to be any corners cut, don't go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook because you will then start seeing the corners being cut on everything else that you go and frequent because they have spared no expense in that place. It is sublime. I was just in there obviously yesterday watching the end of the Brewers game, and there were a good swath of people hanging out. They're like, you know what? We're not going to go to the game. We're just going to sit here and drink beer and have a $10 Broughton beer deal that they have going on.
I haven't asked your opinion since the governor signed the deal where we can have sports betting in our pocket in Wisconsin now. It's a trip, man. When I go home to Iowa, as soon as you cross that Wisconsin to Iowa bridge into Dubuque, it just pops right up there and you can do whatever you want.
Location settings are
crazy how they know.
Mm-hmm.
With GPS.
Your phone knows where you are.
They know it, baby.
Pal, hey, here's your notification. You want to put a bet in?
We'll get you a profit boost. It's going to be awesome to be able to have the ability to do it from wherever, but also like some of the things I've been privy to seeing some of the trial balloons and the little test subjects, especially what we might be able to help out with here on the Huddle and things that you might be able to see content straight to the app. It's going to be pretty amazing for all of the different things. Not only just looking at the bets that you can place, but what other people are doing, your trends, how good you've been doing, how potentially down you are, how much we can start scraping our way up. It's going to be phenomenal.
It's interesting, so that basically if the stick is on tribal land,
the server is on tribal land.
It, the server. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Hoken, I messed it up already here. But it's throughout the country. And as long as the server is similarly to in Florida, the only difference with this one in Florida is the operator is not a different entity. Like they have Hard Rock licensed out.
Okay.
Here, it'll be all the tribes will have the opportunity to produce their own one.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. So you're more excited about the NFL draft than you are the WWE WrestleMania weekend?
I got a feeling, Dolph.
Yeah. You know what? I am not a huge wrestling guy, but I am fascinated by the what you see on cable, what is it? Dark Side of the Ring. Have you watched these shows or from beyond from the territories?
These are old school stuff.
Yeah,
those guys.
And it's amazing how most of them die young. It's kind of sad what they put their bodies through for the WWE and WCW over the years, and then they just don't live long. But I'm fascinated by the stories.
My favorite wrestling offshoot is the Andy Kaufman saga.
Yeah,
he did with Jerry Lawler,
and they cover that in depth in Beyond the Territories with Lawler and that Mid-South wrestling down in Memphis.
That was unbelievable.
He'd show up in like long underwear,
the
wrestle
stunt,
women.
Yeah, wrestle women, and what was he? The intersexual champion or something like that.
Intersexual champion.
Intersexual champion. He was wrestling women, and then when Lawler smacked him on the Letterman show,
he hit him hard.
Oh yeah,
and knocked him off his chair. And Letterman thought it was real. He got up and left the studio. It was
a work.
It was nuts, and it was all
It was all a work.
It was all a work.
It's like,
it's best of friends.
Yeah,
Lawler showed up at Andy Kaufman's funeral,
and Jerry Lawler gets people all the time that way because they're very, very good at not knowing whether it's a work or not.
Yeah.
They did a thing with him, and I don't remember who the other wrestler was, where they were in a feud, and this dude said, "I'm going to hit you with my car, but I'll tell you I'll tell you when to I'll give you a signal to jump and jump out
roll off the hood.
Yeah, well,
roll off.
This dude was going a lot faster than he should have been. Lawler hit the hood, hit the windshield, flew through the air. I mean, he was hurt, and it was nuts. But he was all for it because it would look good on camera.
Good.
The King was so into that. I mean, people thought that maybe when he had a cardiac arrest on television, they're like, wait, are we sure that this is it? Okay, no, actually it is. All right, good. Rest and prayers up for the King. And ultimately he still survived because he's King Lawler. He dominates through that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
People got shot from somebody in Chicago at the old auditorium, took a shot at one of the wrestlers and hit a woman in the front row. People were really into this thing, and still are to this day.
Yeah, much different now though. I'm like their Netflix Unreal is now like how you would consider the Golf Full Swing version.
Okay, I like that.
Right, so where it goes through all of what they do on travel and families and things like that. And I mean, frankly, it's on ESPN, so there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, wait, what is this doing on my TV? Yeah. Or what's this doing on my ESPN streaming service package that I don't have?
Yep, no doubt. It's going to be quite the weekend. And today, you batten down the hatches for another round of storms tonight.
God, they said we could get another couple inches of rain.
We don't need it. People
we don't.
Are already flooded. We're saturated.
I was going to drive out to Iowa this afternoon. I might reconsider because they show these supercells that are
coming
from
through. You'd be driving
Wisconsin.
right into it.
Yeah, grapefruit size hail.
Reconsider driving to Iowa.
And it's
listen, we've had this conversation.
I was so good. I was being so good and supportive of Iowa.
Other than Dolph, the best thing to come out of Iowa is I-80. Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned
come out of Iowa is me returning to
you mentioned Wayne Larrabee. He was I think he called hockey football. He was on KSTT in Davenport, Iowa, early in his career, and he still has fond memories of that. Billy, Badgers at Kinnick this year. You got to get out there, man. Got to get there.
Yeah, Billy.
I believe they are. Yeah, I believe that potentially Halloween night.
I think it is Halloween.
Yeah, I think it's Halloween.
I think it's Halloween.
Yeah, you got to go to Kinnick Stadium.
He's got to. It depends on if he's got to thread that needle, and you'd have to do the Tom Oates doubleheader, and then
I was going to say that might be a Tom Oates doubleheader.
Either
right
back
there.
here or in Green Bay for the next day.
Oh yeah.
It'd be tough after a night game.
That would be brutal.
Yep, at Kinnick, Halloween.
Yeah,
it is.
So that's gonna be a night game.
Pending
that's almost guaranteed to be
pending
a night game.
the Packers schedule. Like Billy and I, our lives are on hold till the Packers.
So when do we get that? Is it next month?
Yeah.
They said like May 14th.
Yep.
So they said either May 12th or May 14th. Okay, if you don't have it settled by May 12th, what's the difference those 2 freaking days?
They're looking for the best day to have their TV show.
Oh,
we do know there's a record number of international games.
That's right.
Who got stuck? Is it the 49ers or the Rams have to play 2 of them?
49ers. And Kyle Shanahan said at the owners meeting, they requested us to go down there. you best better believe I'm requesting them to go to Mexico City with us. Not because it's a competitive advantage, just because I want them to have to do exactly what we're doing.
So they're playing in Australia.
They're playing
and
Australia
in Mexico City
and in Mexico City. Yep.
Wow, that's rough, man.
That's wild.
And we'll see if they play in Mexico City,
Boy,
because there was a couple of years ago where they couldn't end up playing that game in Mexico.
It'd be amazing for the media crew, though.
Yeah, pretty wild. A lot of frequent flyer miles.
Going down under. And then going to Mexico
100%.
City.
Yeah.
Do it. Dolph, thanks for dropping by. Have a great weekend, whether you go to Iowa or not.
All right,
have a
fellas.
good one.
Thanks.
All right.
I'll see you Monday.
Yes, indeed. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time for our Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Employee owned for more than 40 years. The best in the area. Check them out. Saw the van outside my house the other day, and they're helping people, get ready.
I was going to say, that's when you know somebody's going to have themselves a phenomenal summer because it's going to be beautifully cool inside.
Absolutely. I have I've turned the heat off at Stately Olson Manor, so but I'm ready for cooling season.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you make that flip, it's going to be a good one. Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling can help you with both. 40 years in business, employee owned, best one to have. Part of our Who's Hot, Who's Not, Who's Hot? Well, our friend Janny had the bobber yesterday and sent us a picture. Man, whoever crafted that, hot design. A phenomenal cup right there. Maybe on the not category, she said I had to get one. FYI, it was $40 with a tip for a double. However, double on the old fashioned, you're going to feel pretty good at that particular point. But definitely going to put Trevor McGill, I want to say, in the hot category. We can't go there.
He's lukewarm.
We can put Aaron Ashby in there, though. I mean, my man has been on fire to start the year. 5-0, comes in and gets Brandon Sproat out of the situation yesterday. Since he gave up 2 in that 2 1/3 innings affair on Friday night against the Washington Nationals, has come in a little bit of a fireman role each time and given up a clean frame for the crew. And it seems like just a tale as old as time. You just throw Bryce Terang and keep him sitting there. Once again, continues that on base streak, does not subside, does not go away. And maybe the best acquisition the Brewers have had through 3 weeks of a baseball season. Gary Sanchez coming home and coming back to American Family Field, a phenomenal deal. My man's got an 1186 OPS. I guess when you have 5 homers, Drew, through whatever it is, 18 games, I can imagine the slug is going to boost that up quite a bit. But the on base has been phenomenal for Sanchez as well. And he's going to be playing a ton, taking so many of these DH at bats from Yelich. It is a welcome sight that they have him in the fold this year, unlike last for this 6 weeks or more that you might be without Christian Yelich.
Should we say Greg Gard is hot? Got the contract extension, got his first portal edition.
There we go.
Trey Autry from George Washington joining the Badgers, according to numerous reports.
Yeah, and I watched a ton of George Washington basketball, so I know all of Trey's exploits. But I'm guessing there's a really good possibility he's going to come in and be phenomenal. Right, like it's just the way they've hit in the portal.
They really have.
It feels like you just kind of in Guard we trust on that side. Who's not Mark Canna, old friend, released yesterday as he was given his release as he seeks a big league opportunity from the Texas Rangers since he was not with their big league club.
Bring him home? Question mark.
That could be a question.
Bring him back.
You bringing Mark Canna back to the into the fold?
Can he play some first base? I guess he could.
He can. Yeah.
I mean, is Rengifo going to play at first? Has he figured it out?
Well, they're trying.
I'd rather see Rengifo at first than Gary Sanchez. All due respect to Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
Rengifo's not going to injure a pitcher.
I'd rather see Gary Sanchez. Yes, that's very true. I'd rather see Gary Sanchez at the plate though, as Rengifo's riding an 0 for 20.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we're throwing Gary Sanchez in that DH role. GSDH. That those 4 letters can just sit next to each other for the next month.
By the way, the Joey O haters, I mean, they're not hot because he bunted them to victory yesterday.
Bunts them to victory. Hey,
safety squeeze.
As long as we can put it 40. Correct, Dave. Might be the best offense Joey Ortiz provides all year is just bunting his way through life. Mm-hmm. So let's see if that works. Let's see if the Brewers break the mold and they're the heaviest bunting team in all of baseball, because it comes down to you're going to have to play a little bit different than you have for the majority of your time under Murph, because you just don't have the big boppers. Granted, you're not a power-laden squad to begin with on paper, but when you're without 4 of your most productive hitters on a daily basis, you're going to have to find other ways to win.
One more last Who's Hot. Connor McDavid wins another scoring title.
Yeah.
4 assists in the finale, right?
Just unbelievable player. Some value if you're going to the Potawatomi Sportsbook on one of those teams to win the West. That might be a team. They're in the Edmonton Oilers, 7-1.
Love it. DonovanJorgensen.com. Who's hot, who's not. Last hour of the week coming up. The Huddle.
I'm Doug Russell. When big ball isn't working, small ball can win games. Case in point, American Family Field on Thursday.
It's a good one. Heineman spins and throws him out. Hamilton shows bunt, gets it down. Tough play here. Throw to first. Not in time. 1-1. There's the bunt. It's on the ground. Mitchell's going to score. The throw is in time. It is a perfectly executed safety squeeze by Joey Ortiz, and the Brewers have a 2-1 lead.
It held the final score, Brewers over the Blue Jays 2-1, play-by-play courtesy of Brewers Television. The Crew now heads to Miami for 3 with the Marlins starting tonight. Just 2 other games in the Central Division. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates lose to the Nationals 8-7. The Reds get blanked by the Giants 3-0. And the NBA's play-in tournament wraps up tonight. Charlotte is at Orlando. The Suns host the Warriors. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Friday in the good land. The fog is lifted, both outside and inside my head. Welcome in, Drew.
Clearly now the fog is gone.
Drew, Billy, David Gasper's in for Armin. We're huddled up. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube. Shout out to those people having those conversations on the side rail. Shout out to everybody for hanging out with us. We're glad you're here on this Friday, heading into a weekend. One more night of thunder boomers and alerts and phones going off and weather people wall to wall in front of the green screen.
How's the dog handling it? All right.
It's actually been okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have to drug her, at least not too much.
Yeah.
She's been okay. But yeah, she's not a fan. When she sleeps on my head, it wakes me up. That's not good. But
yeah, she's like, hold on. As long as I'm okay, you can be calm here. We've had to massage it with the little ones, where little guy, once he's done, once the 3-year-old's done, it is over. Once those eyes close, heaven and earth ain't waking him up.
That's the blissful. Kids get the best sleep.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Even when your 300-pound dad is trying to get his way out of the bed and then steps on the singing donkey, and then all of a sudden he starts rocking and rolling and lights are going off. It's like, keep that down. Could you keep that down?
Yeah.
I'm sleeping over here.
Goodness.
The soon to be 1-year-old instantly will be up at the drop of a feather in that place.
Yeah.
So we're being able to move it around. I'm excited though for one day just to worry about the baby monitor alarm than the alarm going off on the phone. I'm excited to be able to do that and dual screen it. I was hoping Brewers and NBA play-in tournament, but I'll be hanging out the Admirals game, so we'll be rolling it back. But also, people will be double screening at Brewers and Baden, Brewers and Burgoyne.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're gonna get double screen with some weather action here tonight for one more night, hopefully.
Yeah, and then we're going to dry out next week, which is much needed.
Very much so.
I mean, again, shout out to everybody who's been going through it.
Well, and I mean, we're here towards the lake, obviously, on the eastern part of the state. Folks in the central portion of the state, listen to us on 1070, are going to be in it, obviously, and have been throughout. been seeing some of the damage through the middle of the state, and it's just devastating, right? I mean, not only just the rain, the wind, possible tornadoes. What was it? 5 they said touchdown.
Yeah.
The other night. So stay safe here tonight, folks, and then we can enjoy the weekend. And then we can enjoy the NFL draft coming up next week, where names are being read off. Drew, names are being read by the commissioner of the NFL in front of potentially, they're estimating 700,000 people there in Pittsburgh. Now, I've never been to Pittsburgh.
It's funny. I've been to Pittsburgh several times.
Could you tell me where the 700,000 people are going to be in Pittsburgh? Because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of ins and outs where there's going to be a lot of folks being able to get downtown. I'm not sure where they're going to stage it. I mean, because are they all going to be on the Clemente Bridge? I don't know that there's that much room for them downtown to be able to
I haven't looked at it, but I'm hearing the same things that I heard last year when the draft was in Green Bay about how, like there's hotel vacancies and like not all the hotel rooms are sold. Are we going to reach that number of people? Well, no. Narrator, they did in Green Bay.
They did in Green Bay.
People showed up.
So, yep.
But it was a lot of locals, not as much. And then Airbnb prices cratered closer to the draft.
For sure.
Yep. We were because
there
was a lot of people who overpaid.
People were just saying, I'm gonna put it here and see if anyone bites. And there were plenty of companies that ended up biting, plenty of people that ended up biting, and then plenty of people that got bit late into it, like you said, ended up overpaying. I'm fascinated to see how many of the Yinzers make the trip on out there, because if it is just a big old Pittsburgh party, that's gonna be a heck of a party to witness, right? Just like the folks that had not fully been familiar, I think, with Wisconsinites game last year. Holy cow. 60 degrees?
Yeah.
Sunny? Saturday in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Late April? Alcohol? People are boozing. People are going to go and celebrate that thing. And I think my favorite part of last year, Drew, during the last day of the draft, was all of the national insiders and broadcasters being like, no one's leaving. Kind of surprised. Yeah. It's the 7th round. No one's leaving. Yeah, because it's sunny outside and they're selling beer still. There's a band playing. There's a band playing. There's a parking lot. There's beer. Where else are we gonna go? We might as well hang out here the whole time.
You get to hear this. You get to hear that a bunch throughout the day.
I mean, that juices you up. If anything gets you ready for the season, that right there will fire folks up. And I don't know, will there be a Baron Sorrell-esque moment like last year where they invited him thinking he'd go on day 2, doesn't go day 2, waits till day 3. Most guys would have potentially then left the scene and said, I'm going to go and enjoy it at home with the rest of my family. It's like, wait a second. My whole family came up here. We might as well enjoy it. We might as well see it. And then gets drafted by the hometown team. Maybe a moment like that happens where he's giving high fives throughout the stadium and throughout the parking lot. Or, maybe it's just a big old IC light party and a lot of folks just chanting, we want Paul Skeens. I think they're going to have their traffic cones up, though. That's the big Pittsburgh thing now.
That makes sense.
For the Pirates with the cone, with the orange cone, they're hoisting it up every single time they hit a home run or win the game. So I'm excited to see how that rolls through. I didn't anticipate it was going to be as big of a party in Detroit as it was. Now it was freezing cold.
Oh yeah.
That night in Detroit. Obviously a much bigger city, a little easier in and out there on the freeway system to downtown Detroit, but that place was live.
You got to bet the over on Pittsburgh, because not only do they have 2.5 million people in the metro area of Pittsburgh itself, it's within like a 3-hour drive of major population centers.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. The Philadelphia's are right there and things like that, different places of that ilk.
It's like, I think almost 60% of the U.S. population is within a 1-day drive of Pittsburgh.
See, and then that ends up being it. How much of a destination drive is it?
Cleveland, Buffalo.
Oh, for sure.
All the way down like the East Coast corridor. Like you're in that mix. Philly, it's not that far.
Philly's not that far.
Yeah. But
I'm interested. I just don't know how much the appetite for going to somewhere is, right? Like you just mentioned for Green Bay, it was all the locals that said, well, we're going to go Lambeau Field. We might as well go today. we're going to make it one of our trips during the summer. We might as well make it during the draft, because as much as I enjoy it, and I'm excited to see where Drew Aller goes coming up on day 3, and my guy Jimmy Rodler from linebacker from Michigan, I don't know a whole lot of people are worried about Malik Benson and where he gets drafted from Oregon there on day 3, or if it is just, I've never been to Pittsburgh and I want to go see it there, and we'll enjoy it for that whole day.
Yeah. You need to take the lads to PNC Park when they're a little older.
Yeah, we're making the trip,
good trip
later on this summer. I think right in front of the All-Star break, they make their customary 3-day trip, and I think we're hitting the Saturday Sunday games.
Oh, beautiful.
For there, and then it will definitely be one to revisit because I got a bad feeling I'm going to put on some miles on these quads walking up and down those hills.
Yeah,
pushing that stroller up and down the hills of Pittsburgh gonna be tough. So they're gonna have to come back when they can walk and learn the lesson. This is what Dad's quads went through, so we could enjoy that time when you guys didn't even remember it. All right, that picture right there, Dad was sweating up pretty badly.
Dad's sweating after eating a Permani Brothers sandwich.
That's fair. Yeah,
remember that come Father's Day, kids.
Well, thank you, Dave. That's exactly what I was. What I was hoping for. That's what I was hoping that we'd remember.
There you go.
Yeah.
877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Hey, we have to get to Hunter's recap of the Brewers victory yesterday. Stirring victory by the Brewers. And now it's like they won a game in exciting fashion, a day game at home. And now we have another game tonight. A lot of times when they play that day game, the Thursday's off.
Sit here for 36
My calendar
hours
is a
with
little off, right? It's a
You're
little
right.
bit. But David Gasper, if you would, let's take a listen to Hunter's recap of the Brewers' stirring victory brought to us by Import Minded.
Thanks, guys. While I'm doing this report, there is a high school baseball game going on. As you can see, Dodgeville and Portage. And to be honest, while you're watching or listening to this report, you can probably Google the final scores. It's already over. You know what else you can Google? The Milwaukee Brewers, because they're winners on Thursday afternoon, 2-1 over the Toronto Blue Jays. They've won 2 in a row after losing 6 in a row. And the pitching really is what propelled the Milwaukee Brewers on Thursday afternoon. Brandon Sproat, 6 2/3 of 1-run ball. Then Aaron Ashby gets the last out of the 7th. Then the 8th inning, Trevor McGill, a 1-2-3 inning. He said he really appreciated the ovation from the Milwaukee faithful.
Very much appreciated from the Milwaukee crowd, man. It's been a rough last 2, and that was great to see. I mean, we got fired up a little bit from what happened in the middle of the inning, and just kind of handled business. And when walking off, just felt that energy and kind of pulling from the crowd. So once again, thank you guys.
Angel Serpa getting the save then in the 9th inning. Milwaukee now 10-8. They head to Miami tonight, 6:10 first pitch. I'll have you for the baseball pregame show from 5 until 6 on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and our social channels. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Well played, HB4. Well played.
Great work. But now the only problem is here I'm getting conflicting reports. I'm seeing a Dodgeville 11-4 victory. Oh, no, it is 11-4 victory for Dodgeville yesterday.
There we go.
There you go. Congratulations, Dodgeville.
Dodgers.
Taking out Portage, who was a 5-0 winner over Dodgeville the last time they played, Drew, back in May of 2025. Their luck changed up this time as the Warriors came up short. They fell to the Dodgeville Dodgers 11-4 yesterday at American Family Field in front of the crowd of Hunter Baumgart. He just dropped a Kurt Signetti. Did you catch that one in the missing? Google them. They won.
Yeah.
Google them. They won.
Google it. You can also Google the Brewers. Great report by Hunter.
Now 4 of 6 on the series wins. That's we talked about the different marks of good teams. You keep winning series, you're gonna be hard to beat. But I do love hearing Trevor McGill admit to how good it felt to hear that from the fans after the trying weeks for him. Because it goes to, Drew, a point I feel like we all make, and it's not a stunning development. As much as you want to see the team win, nobody is more impacted by the lack of success than Trevor McGill. And to be able to get that send-off, go into a road trip that way, and just get some kind of confidence in a higher leverage situation. We talked about maybe he opens, maybe he comes in one of those 7-2 games. Pat Murphy's going to know these players a lot more than we do. He said, I don't know that he's going to perform to that level here. Instead, he gets into a little screaming match with the visiting team, gets the roar of the crowd going, and who knows? Maybe that can flip you right back into gear.
It could. Interesting looking at the standings today. Again, it's too early to scoreboard watch and look at the standings, but it's fun. It's
for sure. Work. A little guilty pleasure.
Pirates at the top of the division, tied with the Reds. Who had that in their bingo card? 19 games in.
Right.
They're both 11-8. Brewers 10-8, half game behind. But in terms of the Reds are 11-8, and their run differential is -13.
Ooh, that doesn't add up very well.
No,
that doesn't make a whole lot
Brewers
of sense.
are 10-8, and they're +16. The Pirates, to their credit, 11-8 run differential, and In their last 10, they're 5-5, so they're cooling off a little bit. But their run differential is a hefty plus 19.
Oh,
now,
wow.
again, early in the season, it can be skewed by some lopsided blowouts.
There's a 16
games that get
run
away.
in there, I think.
Meanwhile, down at the bottom, in the cellar, your Chicago Cubs, who are 9-9, a game and a half out of first place, last place with a 500 record, in the best division in baseball right now in terms of records. The Cubs are plus 19 at 9-9. Now, is that sustainable? That they're going to be 500 if you have that good a run differential? Probably not. Like the markets are going to correct. I would say that the Reds are due for that dip.
Yeah. And that's where like I was talking to some of the guys at the Potawatomi Sportsbook yesterday, doing Potawatomi Sportsbook Weekly, our podcast that we like to avail ourselves to, and it kind of caught everyone off guard. Cubs are plus 215 to win the Central Division. Now, obviously, like you just mentioned, last place, but Drew, to open the year they were at even money. So like if you do think that market is going to correct back to that point, that's a hell of a good bet to be able to make on the value. Also, a week ago, the Brewers, when they were 8-2, were I think plus 170. They're now back to where they started the year at plus 275 because questions with the Yelich injury, obviously Churio setback, lose 6 straight. It's interesting to see where the tides turn and where these trends roll up and down on numbers because there's a lot of value you can get on here because you just mentioned where the Pirates and Reds are still sitting with the exact same record, but odds makers look at that run differential significantly because the Pirates are tied with the Brewers at plus 275, almost 4-1 if you think the Reds are somehow going to end up winning this division.
The story in baseball the last week has been the hot streak of the Swinging Friars in San Diego.
Big time.
Who have won 8 in a row, 9 of 10, and they've crawled to within a game and a half behind the Dodgers, who are 14-4. You talk about run differential.
Oh, my God.
The Dodgers are plus 46. We're not even 20 games in. They're 18 games in, and their run differential is plus 46.
And you just like look at some of the production that they've gotten from these guys. Andy Pages is the one that offensively is like their best offensive player. That's not fair. You're not supposed to allow the guy that is on the rookie contract to be producing this way when you have 4 different players making $300 million plus.
Something like that.
That's not right. That guy should stink on ice. Instead, Andy Pages, whatever, hitting 9th in their lineup, is hitting 400 with an OPS over 1100. But it's just like they can't add up somewhere.
So the Brewers just said goodbye to the Jays, who are coming off of that American League Championship.
I'm fine not seeing them again. Too.
And, within a whisker of winning the World Series. Jays are 7-11. They've lost 7 out of 10, including the last 2 to the Brewers. Their run differential is a whopping minus 25. So they've had an ugly start. They're still a good ball club.
Very good team.
And they'll be bouncing back. But the Jays, it's an interesting quirk because the Jays are, like I said, 7-11. And one of the columns in the expanded standings is what's your record against a team with a winning record? The Brewers have yet to play a team with a winning record.
How about that?
So the Brewers have no record against teams with winning records because they've yet to face a team in 18 games that had a winning record.
I talked to the team. There is no team. So they haven't necessarily played anybody of that caliber.
And it was instructive because there was we reached an inflection point. And now the Brewers are 2 games over. They're 10-8. I always say the first goal of every season is to get to 10 games over 500.
Yep.
Do it as quick as you can. And then you've got your buffer. Anytime you get there, it's great. Because when you get to 10 games over, you can play 500 the rest of the year and win 90 games.
Yep, and be all good in the neighborhood.
Right there. You'd be right in the mix. But so the fact that the Brewers haven't played a team with a winning record is kind of funny. And the Marlins tonight are 9-10.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they've been a pesky ball
team.
club, but they won't be the one that breaks that mold.
That made me think of when last year did the Brewers, were they last under 500? Like at what point last year were they last under 500?
Would it have been
May?
I was going to say late May at the end of May, maybe the 30th or 31st, because then they started to go play above 500 ball. I think they were above 500 when they went down to Chicago for that June 17th, 18th, 19th day, the one that ended up getting rained out.
Yeah.
But at that point, they still were, teetering on being like 8 or 9 games back in the division.
Yeah, they were like 21-25, I think, something like that. Then they ripped off like 5 wins in a row or 6 wins in a row, and then from there, like beginning of June, they really kicked
Continued
it into
to
gear,
propel through. Because the run and the crazy run of 30-4 happens once Woody comes back.
Yeah.
Against Miami. As it worked out. But yeah, so I would say maybe just past Memorial Day last year would be where they last tipped it.
21-25 on May 19th.
There you go, Casper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was cribbage board night, right? Because I think that's the night that they get pantsed by the Twins, like 7-0.
21-25. And remember that series they got pantsed by the Cubs. 21-25
yes.
last year, and then they were the first team to win 80. So, and by late August they were 78-44.
And that's where I had the cool guy says, "Did you really think they were going to win it?
Yep.
Did you really think that they were going to win the World Series?" Well, yeah, I kind of thought they had a real chance when you were the hottest team for an extended, 100-game run, similar to the Nationals a number of years ago, Drew, where they started like 15-21 or 15-26, and then they rattled off. They were the best team in the league for the final 110 games. Went on, upset the Dodgers after they beat the Brewers in that wild card game. Ended up winning the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily matter how you the adage of you can lose a division in April and May, you just can't win it, is pretty true. However, you still can be able to rectify it. It's not as out of it as you might think, although health-wise is where you got to stay in it. That's why yesterday's so huge to be able to get 2 of those wins where it feels like you stole both of them.
The Brewers, they were 4 games under on May 17th. That's their highest. That was their low water mark.
Okay.
It was 4 games under 500.
And where's their low water mark this year? Even Steven, right? 8-8 after the 6-game losing streak. And that's why the race to 10 games over 500 is where the Huddle is putting our eyes. That's where we're casting our visions and lining up to where we will go. Once we get to that mark, then you can take a deep breath, enjoy it, and move on to the next checkpoint.
The Brewers were 6.5 games out of first place on June 17th. That was their biggest margin, their biggest deficit.
Wow.
To the Cubs.
And then that's the 2-gamer or 3-gamer that turns into the 2-gamer, and they move off and they play then the 5-game series in 4 days late into August. I thought it was really, really cool to see that final game of that series because they would have went back to 9.5 games under if they wouldn't have won that final game. And that one, Murph definitely enjoyed. I vividly remember that post-game celebration and handshake in the dugout where he's dropping a lot of expletives saying, leave those guys.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
and then they won 8 of their next 9.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So their last day with a losing record last year, according to baseballreference.com, was May 26th. They were 27-28.
And they got 2 walk-off wins
Then
the next few days to get
they
500
beat Boston. Yep. That was when they swept Boston. So that was the turning point of the season, and they went on a little bit of a heater.
And that was when I convinced Timmy to throw 100 down on the Brewers to win the division.
That's right, at 15-1.
Yeah.
That's a big kicker.
Which he then hedged on later, which was very disappointing.
Then gave us a large amount of hedging content, which was phenomenal for us.
So, yeah, the Brewers were 25-28. And then embarked on an 8-game winning streak and said goodbye to losing for the rest of the year, basically.
Yeah, right. They're just like, you know what? Actually, we're gonna not do that anymore. I think this winning stuff is a whole lot more fun. You run through the standing. It is crazy though. Still seeing as the Miami Marlins next up on the docket for the Brewers, the NL Beast. I mean East, sitting there with 1 team over 500.
Wild.
One team over 500 to be in the Atlanta Braves, who last year were absolutely brutal. That's baseball. It'll turn around pretty quickly when you got that kind of talent, Drew. I got a feeling they'll be okay.
Hey, this portion of the Huddle is brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com, the website. If you got a sports injury or a nagging chronic issue, go to the best. World-class care right here at home. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. We're grinding our way through a Friday in the good land, a foggy Friday, soon to be a rainy Friday night, stormy Friday afternoon and evening. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and Twitter. Drew Billy and Dave Gasper bringing it to you from headquarters. We're in the home stretch for our Friday edition of the program.
Listen, shooting shirts far off, ready to roll. And let's be honest, we tend to get better. We're kind of like fine wine, Drew. We kind of get better with age and as the week goes on. And right now might be the sweetest spot to be able to get of the week.
Right. So it's time for our current electric superhero of the day. And our current electric superhero of the day is going to be Trevor McGill.
Because, listen, superheroes come in all shapes and sizes, and you don't necessarily know when a hero is going to have to bust out of there with a cape.
That's right. And Trevor McGill's bounce back. People love a good redemption story. So let's name him our current electric superhero of the day. Callcurrent.com is the website for the best in the business when it comes to all your electrical needs. A lot of folks wishing they had a generator. If the sump pump goes out.
Yeah, a lot of people wishing they were in the generator game. Guess what? They give you a free assessment when you go to callcurrent.com. They'll fit the right and tell you the exact right current electric generator to have in the house. But also safety inspection, less than $30 to get a safety inspection on your home and all the electrical dealings. Go to callcurrent.com, book that, give yourself some peace of mind all summer long. You'll thank us later.
Outstanding. Hey, line one of the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line belongs to our pal, pitching coach of the Lake Country Dock Hounds and a friend of the program, former big leaguer. It's Paul Wagner. Hello, Wags. What are you doing up so early?
Hey, boys, I'm headed up to Barneveld, Wisconsin, where it's the home of Vortex Optics. With our podcast with one of my fellow friends from iHeart platform, Eric Tasker.
Come on.
We do a podcast called Flipping Sticks and Throwing Lead, and we're bringing up a first responder and a military veteran, and we're having a great little time up at Vortex. So we're on our way up there.
Let's go. That's going to be phenomenal. And now, Wags, this is going to be with the podcast. And now, did you get anybody to listen to the podcast while you're in the autograph signing line on Autograph Sunday at last week's Brewers game? Because I was trying to get my youngster to go down the Paul Wagner line, and my wife kept pulling me saying, we gotta go to this Churio guy. I don't get it. I was like, this dude pitched in the major leagues and then no hitter in the ninth inning. So I apologize that I didn't get to go see you in there, but I imagine you got a lot of podcast listeners out of it the other day.
I go, Big Dave put a little shout out. So yes, I did have some people talk to it, but you know what? I played it pretty safe. I was next to Jackson Churio, so I'm talking to him a little bit, wanted to see how his hand was feeling. We had a Venezuelan guy that played with me, a real good guy, middle infielder, was in the Brewer organization for a long time. Actually, Brian. And the Brewers, when Nashville released him, we picked him up. Great guy, knew him. So I had a little talk, and I'm like, is this my line or is this your line? And right away, one of the field generals, the Milwaukee Brewer employee, goes, no, Mr. Wagner, your line's over here, the one that has like 7 people in
it. But they got a better experience right there.
Jackson's line goes all the way to Blue Mound. Sorry.
It was out into the parking lot by the time I walked over.
I wish
there.
I'd have been at the ballpark that day because I was cleaning some stuff out and I found an old program from a Germantown Menominee Falls basketball game back in the day, and we're both in there, Wags. I would have had you sign it.
No, it was a good turnout. It was a good turnout. A couple of Germantown alums came by, a couple of podcast listeners, and a couple of guys mentioned the turkey season as Big Dave got a good shout out for me. I appreciate that.
That's fantastic. Hey, Wags, we were just talking about what happened with Trevor McGill yesterday, and baseball works in such mysterious ways. The guy is scuffling, and he's basically lost the closer job, and then we're out of arms, and they send him out there in a high leverage situation. Not the best place to recover from a slump. He pitches lights out. He starts woofing at Vladdy Guerrero. Brewers win. What a great redemption story. What do you think when you see something like that? It's just baseball can turn on a dime, can it?
It really can, and a person like that, in a situation like that, you want to get him right back, as the old saying goes, you want to get him back on the saddle, and that's where I think the feel of the game, and granted, the Pat Murphys and the ex-player, even the Craig Counsels and the Mike Matheny's, they understand that you can't let a closer or a high leverage mentality guy like that who gets Red Bulls up before every 8th inning. You've got to get him back out there because he's got to find his feet again. And I just thought it was a great situation. He does it. I think the lefty comes in and gets him saved that time. But now you've got almost a 3-headed 9th inning finish by committee, if you want to say. We know that all of them can do that. They can all handle the high leverage last 3 outs of a game, and that was just a great situation to put him in.
Well, in Wags, that's the toughest part. Like, we were talking about it, and I'm like, do you open him? Do you give him the whole pyro and entrance and start the game up that way? But it finds you, and Murph being able to back him with the fans. We talked about it. I don't believe they're necessarily booing Trevor McGill directly. I think they're mostly booing the team as a collective, blowing a game and not being able to win one for a week. But Murph being able to vocally go and back him like that, what does that do in the clubhouse for the boys? Because it's so early. However, it's early in terms of the games that count. These guys have been together for about 2.5 months, and you're already feeling like a true family in there. What does that do when you hear the main guy give support for one of your own?
I think all of those guys, all 26 guys in there, haven't never lost faith in them. We know what baseball's about. Those 26 guys absolutely know what it's like, how there's ups and downs. There's goods and there's bads. I think him doing that and putting him in, I don't like you mentioned, I wouldn't have liked the idea of an opener. I wouldn't have liked putting him into a mop-up situation. Let's just say the Brewers were up or down 8-2. I don't like that. I think what was done perfectly. It wasn't scripted, obviously, but I think that scenario and that situation goes great for him, his psyche, the other 25 guys in the clubhouse, the coaching staff, and especially the fans. I mean, now we know what he's capable of doing, and we never forgot what he did last year.
Talking to Paul Wagner, friend of the program here, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. All right, Wags, slumps are part of the game, so are injuries. And the expectations with the Brewers are so lofty right now. I think a lot of people forget that they're not playing with Jackson Chourio, Andrew Vaughn, Christian Yelich, and Quinn Priester, some guys who are pretty key contributors. Now, by the time those guys get back, there will be other guys injured because that's the way baseball works. But where do you think of where the Brewers are right now, 18 games in? Like they've weathered the storm of that losing streak. They've won a gritty series against Toronto, and now they're heading to Miami and Detroit. Where are you? What's your temperature check, heat check on this team 18 games in?
I think they're missing something, and maybe it's one of those individuals that you said. Sunday's game, for example, the loss to the Nationals. We were losing 6-3 out there. Yelich comes out of the game. I think Sanchez's first at bat, he popped up to the catcher maybe, and his second at bat, he hits the 3-run homer to tie the game up 6-6. The fans, the people. Years past Brewers, there was something there. There was always that spark that this game's over. We just did it. And then somehow, some way, it just didn't go our way. The needle spun the opposite way, and unfortunately, we took a loss. I don't know what it is, but I think one of those little sparks, whether it's a player, an action, maybe a result, something's going to take place, and the Brewers will be back to where they were. It's pretty much, it was kind of a crazy scenario to see them lose many games in a row, especially being swept at home. And I don't think that's the Milwaukee Brewers that we're going to see as the season goes on. But there is something missing. There is a little bit of something where I don't know what it is yet, and I'm hoping that as soon as one of those big guns comes back and a couple wins here and there and a nice big game or maybe a blowout puts us right back on track to where we were the last couple of years.
Wags, from a pitching standpoint, how impressive is it what Aaron Ashby's been able to do? Go through a number of different roles, and now a couple of years off of shoulder surgery, seem like he's really clicking on all cylinders with his stuff.
Absolutely amazing. It really is. It seems like he pitches every day. Mm-hmm. It seems like he can come into a tight situation. He can be our opener. We've seen that. He can get out the hard lefty. He's got some velo where he can get upper zone chases from right-handed hitters. He's got arm side whip where that ball. He's got so much that when the Brewers extended him a few years ago, I think I wasn't really sure. I kind of wasn't sure where he was and what the outlook would be. I think if you're going to say a jackknife, a jack of all trades, something like that, a Swiss Army knife, I don't know. I think he's a very, very valuable piece to the Brewer organization. And the way they keep putting him into positions, the way Pat Murphy and Chris Hook continue to do that, I think it's pretty extraordinary.
Wags, on the way out here, your Pirates, your other former team, are in first place. You getting a sense that they're for real? They're starting to feel themselves. They got a hot rookie. They got Paul Skeens.
Oh, yeah. Paying money for players now?
Should we be worrying about the Pirates?
I don't know. Something must be going pretty good over there because a bunch of Pirates front office, a couple of people have reached out to me for some odd reason and wanting to know if I was coming out to Pittsburgh. So I think the belief on Pittsburgh is pretty high. I'm going to wait until a little bit later in the season. We've seen the Pittsburgh Pirates do that. We've seen them start out hot last year, even when Shelton was there, even when Clint Earl was. I mean, things have always taken off pretty good when they bump out of the gates out of spring training. I'm going to wait a little bit, Drew. I'm going to hold back on my ticket to Pittsburgh yet for a little while.
I love it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm buying them more than the Reds, but I'm with you on that.
Hey, Wags, have fun with that Eric Tasker character.
Yeah, good luck up there.
Be safe in Barneveld because, it's like that's Tornado Alley and we're getting some bad weather. So drive safe, my friend.
Yeah, that's coming at they said up here about 5 o'clock. So you're damn right. Wagner's ass is going to be headed home by about 2:30.
Veteran move, my friend. Veteran move.
Skilled right-hander.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, buddy.
All right, boys.
All right, Paul Wagner, friend of the program.
best,
Love talking to Wags. He's always amazing.
Dude, that has got to be an absolute trip. Road tripping with Wags. Like when they did the at the Dock Hounds, the Wings with Wags.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of things that we talk about that I'm like hardcore jealous that I'm not a part of. That was one every single time. Like, hold on, eat delicious wings, have Wags tell stories, then watch a ball game and drink beer. That sounds like a hell of a night. I think I would be signing up for that 10 times out of 10.
Fantastic. All right. Before we head to break, I want to tell our friends, if you're online, if you're just firing up and checking your emails, a lot of people are just getting their day started, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com and sign up for that free, no obligation, no cost, none free means no cost, appointment. And that evaluation can change your life. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. They are pioneers in testosterone replacement therapy. They also have peptide therapies, which is the hottest thing going in the fitness, wellness, health industry. And they can help you, guide you through that. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website. Clinics all over the Milwaukee area, one in Middleton. Find one near you. It's a nationwide company. Medically supervised treatments that can help enhance your life and help you get back in the game. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website. We're going to be back with our Wake and Bake story, and we will close up shop. The show flies by. David Gasper, he barely settled into his chair over there, and it's already time to close down the show and hit the Golden Girls song. It's a Friday, and you're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time flies when you're having fun. This is the final segment of the week for the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmid, Dave Gasper's in for Armin. Armin will make his triumphant return on Monday. Although he's been cheating on us. Yeah, he's been cheating on us.
I just found out during the break he was on the Spectrum News Roundtable last night.
Yeah,
now, maybe I shouldn't have done this. I just responded to the tweet that was put out 12 hours ago. So I thought you were on vacation. Yeah. I thought you were on vacation. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should.
Zabe cast with Butchie with El Baldo. And
goodness gracious,
all over the place.
Oh, okay. Well, take time off to go do a job interview. All right, bud.
Alas, yes. So it's Friday. Time for our Wake and Bake segment of the day, brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Rob and Chris, you know what next week is? Just saying.
Come on now. 420, baby.
They always have good deals on 420. Stay tuned to this space for some amazing deals coming up on 420 with Rob and Chris. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off everything you order, including the wonderful Drift Seltzer. In fact, I'm going to be out today. I don't have to watch a child. I have a dog to watch. The dog's going to daycare, so I'll be running a bunch of errands, and I'll be hunkered down at home tonight when the storm hits. And I will have snacks and libations and Drift Seltzer.
That's perfect. The Drift Seltzer is just the perfect accoutrement to the entire Friday night.
It's going to be awesome. So, again, code HUDDLE gets you 25% off everything you buy every time at HappyPlaceHemp.com. Works in the store as well, which is good.
You just don't get the free shipping, but you get to walk out with it.
So check out the deals there and stay tuned for a special deal on Monday, which is a special day. Billy, what's our Wake and Bake story today?
So now this is not necessarily one specific story, probably should be. However, it just made me remember every single circle that you sit in. Not Dave, not that one. But when you're hanging out, talking sports, maybe some Happy Place hemp is some sage is being burned around the area, and you're getting some beautiful scents throughout. Start thinking all-time list. Now, Mount Rushmore ends up being the one that comes up a lot. But my friend Aaron Nagler, go check out the Carry the G radio podcast that we did yesterday. We identified the core of the Green Bay Packers, core players for the Green Bay Packers. But this one, Drew, as he did a little bit of that dangerous AMA, somebody asked Nags to build an all-time wide receiver core to go win one game.
Oh, baby.
And if that's not the best 420 story that conversation that you possibly could have, think about it in all teams in Wisconsin. You go top receiving core for the Green Bay Packers, top lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers to go win one game, top starting five for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Love it.
I just immediately sat down and I felt like I was into every basement in the middle of an afternoon during the summer of like, yeah, all right. But that all-time 80s NBA team would be wiping the floor with this all-time starting five that you have here in 2020. So he ran in Don Hudson, James Lofton, Sterling Sharp, Devontae Adams. Do you have any problem
That's pretty good.
with that four core?
That's pretty good. I mean, that's some Hall of Fame caliber talent.
I was going to say, you got four Hall of Famers in there. One guy that was like actually thought of to be a wide receiver alien at his time. Nobody had seen what Don Hudson was doing.
He was the Babe Ruth of wide receivers of that era.
Yeah, and is never going to touch what his impact was. People almost somehow forget how good James Lofton was because of all he did after his time in Green Bay. Sterling Sharp, well recognized finally. And, for all the problems he had in his first 2 years, Devontae Adams belongs in that group more than anybody else from kind of that squad.
You love Donald Driver, all-time leading receiver.
Love him.
You love Greg Jennings, had his moments. Jordy Nelson, of course, Randall Cobb, slot. I mean, you're not assigning guys slot and, X and Y, and like you're kind of just taking the four best guys.
Yeah, four best guys.
Because I don't quibble with Nags, man. That's a pretty solid lineup.
A hard one to beat. Now, my favorite one on the comments did come from this guy named Craig. He goes, but what about an extremely hungover Max McGee?
Oh,
now, listen, if we can add in that exact Max, then we'll put him as wide receiver 5.
How'd you leave off Jeff Janis? What are you, high?
How'd you lead off Jake Kumaro?
Jeff Janis and Jake Kumaro and Bill Schrader.
That was the moment it ended. Yeah. Free, who was just throwing out a first pitch.
I love Free.
That's a hard one to crack, though.
Bad Moon Rising. Still remember when Armin answered that call when Andre Rison called us and like, hey, Bad Moon checking in. Like, huh? Oh, Andre, welcome to the show. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, you just heard the table.
All right. We're going to be back at it on Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Shout out to Rob and Chris. HappyPlace.com. Code HUDDLE for 25% off. We'll see you at 5 a.m. Monday.
Peace.